Oh,
They can hear us. They can see
Hello.
about half of us. Welcome to whatever this is going to be. I don't know anymore. Let me just, yeah. There we go.
Fun. It's going to be fun.
I am very tired.
Aw.
Hello. Oh, wow. We just jumped up to 3 people all at once on the viewership. Hi. Hello, viewers. You can't see me because if I turn on my video, apparently I sound like a robot. Not sure why those two things are connected, but welcome to modern life.
Me too.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Discordian
Sometimes
Live.
good to sound like a robot. It's not always.
We will be playing
If you can't be understood.
we will be playing Dungeons and Dragons today. Announcements. We have a Twitter feed. It's @bonusroll. Literally nothing comes out of there lately except for like notifications that we're about to start playing. Keep an eye on it though, because there's going to be notifications coming out of it that we're about to start playing Shadowrun in a few weeks. Oh God, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? New shows.
I won't
Heard you like
but
Revenue?
Did you love
Did you say revenue? Oh, we're losing money on
You're
this.
such a joker.
Aw.
No,
Potentially.
you don't want to know how much this character art cost. We are not using paid character art for our non-flagship shows. I said ship shows, right?
You said it right. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I think you said that correctly.
I am exhausted, physically, emotionally, virally. I don't know.
yeah, I got a few
Aw.
sores myself. I think I pulled something after my
Oof.
shower today.
Rough. I
Yeah,
resumed my in-person paid games yesterday.
Nice.
I was
Alright.
putting socks on, and I just like my shoulder.
I hate putting socks on. It is like there's no easy, comfortable way to do that once you're past like 15.
You guys wear socks?
Yes.
Some of us can't afford to wear
I like
flip-flops
wearing
to
socks.
work now.
It
It's like,
keeps my feet warm.
I'm someone who has to wear steel-toe boots. And like I do not.
Oh man,
I
I
don't have-
remember when I had to wear those.
I don't have Johnny Appleseed feet. It's like I can't afford not to wear socks.
I mean, technically, you could just integrate the sock into the shoe.
It's like those gel pads.
You're not allowed to play an artificer.
It's a removable inner lining.
Exactly.
Removable to what? It's stuck in the shoe.
No, I used to work at a propane filling station, so yes, I know the joy of steel-toed boots.
Yeah.
Did you know they can cut your toe off if there's too much pressure?
Oh yeah, but they'll protect against anything less than that.
Yeah, anything less than catastrophic failure, they'll protect you with. Also, they're really good if you're decent at taekwondo or other kicking-based martial arts.
Yeah, like
Aim for the jaw.
My boots make me feel like Frankenstein a lot of the time. Like,
Clomp, clomp, clomp.
That is the best thing about boots, I gotta say.
yeah.
Hey, this background music's provided by Sirenscape. Did y'all know that?
Thank you, Sirenscape.
Thank you for giving us a soundtrack.
3, I guess? I mean, they're 10 minutes long each, but they're just the same thing looped.
Yeah, and you know, it's just like the 2 songs I want to say. Most of the time,
Or
it's
at least-
either our theme and then battle theme.
There's a third theme. It doesn't happen a lot because y'all don't do a lot of dungeon delving.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
you
too more done then.
Huh? The dungeon delving one? Here, hold on.
Yeah.
This one is titled
Alright.
Scary Dungeon.
Guess I better log
It
back
is.
in just to hear the music. I was leaving it off for internets.
Then we have SSA theme and R20BV1. My naming conventions are a little weird. So, yeah, we have a Twitter at Bonus Roll. I guess I did the announcement that we're going to have a Shadowrun game starting soon. We follow that for character profiles, setting information, explanation about what Shadowrun is, and questions about our moral and liminal existence. Because, yeah, I'm dealing with things very well. I'm trying to remember what other things I had, but, those technical difficulties at the beginning, they just completely wipe out my to-do list. We are currently all caught up on videos on our YouTube. You can't see me looking confused, I realized, and I'm gesticulating wildly, so for fun. If we have a new kind of emergency procedure after last week, I sat and thought about, what do we do if things just start breaking entirely? If the stream is interrupted to the point that it does not seem viable to continue, what we're going to do is disable the stream, finish the game, I will record it, and then I will announce, we will announce via Twitter when the full thing will be broadcast. So please follow us on Twitter if you want to be warned about, missing episodes and stuff. If anyone doesn't have anything else to add, I know, Halo, you need to talk about reroll a bit.
So yeah, with that, reroll's pretty great. They let me use a little pixel art app. My character, it's somewhere, you'll see it eventually. It's on the little sidebar that you can see all our characters. I use it with my logo. It's free. Do you like the full version? It's $10. It's nice. It's just real nice.
I'm expecting combat to either be this episode or next episode, so they should be seeing the token soon.
Awesome. So yeah, by combat you mean just one of us just randomly fighting each other for some reason, right?
I mean, sure. That's y'all do have to eventually.
It could happen.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all do the recap while I sit here quietly, stare into space, and sip a Dr. Pepper.
Alright.
I feel like Feredir needs to do this one because he had the most traumatic session last session.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna be honest, I don't quite recall everything. So I went to a shop in the forest. And then
Already wrong.
I apparently bought something, but the price wasn't in Zibberzino, it was in ankles. And I got overcharged. And so I wake up, Frizz was there, but he's such a great friend, I'm assuming.
Ancillary kidnapping because he was in the way.
Sure. I choose to believe my version. Anyway, so Frizz and I got kidnapped. Some hooded figure was trying to take care of us, but also really not wanting me to leave for some reason, and took extreme measures in order to accomplish this task by breaking my ankles.
Yeah.
And Brawl came in, then was Cathal, it was weird. I was in a lot of pain. And she rescued us and Ammonestria. Had gotten captured as well for some reason. Which is weird, but we definitely need to give her a pay raise since she single-handedly tried to save us.
Oh.
I mean, she's not very well equipped to do so, but I mean, I gotta respect the effort. Then we all ended up in basically the Secondsight agency base. People were talking about how they wanted to take me to the lab, so I snuck out to go to the lab and took Kay with me because Kay's a good boy.
Also unable to walk under your own power.
Not walk, but I can tentacle crawl.
Scuttle.
So, I mean, there is that. And, they couldn't heal my existing ankles, but they could give me new ankles.
Oh, they didn't say they couldn't heal you.
They said they could give me new ankles, so I went with that. And so I've got new ankles with all socket-like movement, so now my dreams of being able to at least audition for the ballet are coming to realization. And yeah.
I mean, they're going to take just as long to heal as your ankles would have, and you've kind of forgot to ask that, but...
Don't think you can heal from shattered bones in 4 weeks. I think that's more like a 4 months at least.
Oh, magic might be able to speed it up a little.
Oh yes, magic can speed that up a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways. Well, I'm sure it could speed up my recovery too, so...
Forgot, like, second coolest part of the last adventure, though. Griggum's outing. Gruul battle.
Was I there?
Did you hear a recap from Griggum on that?
Griggum?
Yes.
Alright, just making sure you got audio.
Yes.
Do you want to recap your fun Gruul battle?
Griggum's just like, yes, Thursday was Thursday.
Yeah,
It's not. It's cool.
Yeah, no, it wasn't anything special. Just a friendly pub brawl, and then paying for damages, and then getting to know the structure of Gruul settlements in general. It's like nothing special.
Nothing special, they say.
And learning that that boyfriend that we've been looking out for, was among the, I want to say, border tribes. And he in particular wasn't, out there for fighting. It's like,
Yeah.
And that's the implication I'm going with.
Complex reasons.
Gonna do some quick intros, or?
Yep, let's do some intros. I'm all for basically anything we can do to eat up time. I am fine with.
I'm gonna have mine take like less than 30 seconds just to spite you.
I love you very much. Will you marry me?
So I'm Zizaba, and I play Ingrid, a Golgari shaman. That's all I'm saying today.
I am the knave. I play Griggum, the goblin drunken master monk of the Celestia Conclave.
I play Rail. I am Merle. I play Rail Corvino, cleric, spy, best dressed person in the room in any room. Former Simic, current Orzhov, always stylish.
Griggum's the leader of the gang. No, I'm kidding.
Griggum is leader of the group, transformed from the norm by the nuclear goop.
What was that about genetic damage that was discussed?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's funny because it might be true.
Yeah. The real question is, does pizza exist in Ravnica?
Yes.
Pizza exists in every dimension.
It's just not called pizza.
Swedish meatball. Same with Swedish meatballs.
Exactly. So yeah,
Oh, that's really good.
I play Frizz, the Izzet Storm Sorcerer.
I'm 789. I play Feredir, and I love the implication that Swedish meatballs exist, including the universes where Sweden does not exist.
I didn't say that they're called Swedish meatballs.
Yeah, this is
it's like gin and tonic. They're universal
concepts.
Universal
but the thing
constant.
is, the plane of ranch dressing, are they made out of ranch dressing?
That was a Babylon 5 joke. By the by.
With the Swedish meatballs?
Yeah, it was an ongoing thing for a little while where it's like, I've discovered two things about the universe. It's like, one, every alien culture has some version of Swedish meatballs. I don't know why, don't ask. But two, and eventually it was discovered that it mostly was time travel shenanigans.
There's always time travel.
That someone that went back in time and basically became alien Jesus was like, I really miss Swedish meatballs. It just taught cultures how to make it.
I really need to learn how to make the cream sauce. I know how the meatball is not the problem.
I don't know. I've never actually had a Swedish meatball.
Have you been to IKEA?
I have, but we didn't eat there.
Eat there. They have you don't think, oh, IKEA, the food is good. I was surprised.
It's like Costco.
Huh?
Nobody thinks of Costco as a place for food, but the food is seriously cheap.
Yeah.
Now, it's very obvious now that you're just stalling.
If I was trying to be subtle about it, it would not be obvious. I used to actually work next to a Costco, and I'd go over there for my 15-minute lunch break, and I get half a pizza for $3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's economies of scale on a massive scale.
Yeah. Plus, I massively respect their whole mask policy where they're like, yeah, no, you don't have a mask. You're out of here.
Yep. The one by me has been very strictly limiting the number of people in the store at any given point as well, which is a good thing.
It's see, we didn't do a chat and chill on Friday. And so I'm going to take up the next 10 minutes talking about how I was working at a liquor store, and then when we moved, I got my brother my job at the liquor store that is next to the Costco. And I can't think of any way to stretch this story out any farther, so I guess we should play D&D.
Do you still want to stall? I can talk about whatever.
No. Oh, Mystic Odyssey of Theros comes out soon, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh my lord!
Very excited.
If they push it back on the first, I'm going to just go outside and burn something in a barrel.
I think the online version is not going to push back anymore. I know the paperback version is not going to go to the 27th, I believe now.
Yeah.
Of June.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But oh well, I guess. I'll get it when it comes out in paper because
paper.
It's amazing, and I love Theros. I mean, I really love magic,
It's Greek fantasy. Who doesn't love it? Okay, let's play D&D. Where did we leave off, and where do we want to pick up at? All right, we left off at Tux getting surgery.
Yeah.
So, Tux. You didn't... They gave you anesthetic. They stuck you with, a needle, and your body went numb. You are still awake for the whole process.
Okay.
So, while there isn't pain, there is very slight intense pressure on your ankles.
Okay.
But over the course of about an hour and a half, we shall say, problem, you can't see my air quotes, is corrected, another set of air quotes. and you are mended. Air quotes. Everyone, y'all have no idea where Tux went. It's about early evening.
And we know he went to the place. We looked over the side and we saw him. And I talked to him on Spy's Murmur, and he told me to go check with Cathal and tell her not to hurt Ammonestria because they might be related.
Okay, fair points. If only that was covered in the recap.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. So, do you have a room I can stay the night in?
Well, that's what I was just going to go find Cathal to check in about.
All right.
Apparently, I have to tell her something about Ammonestria now, too.
All right. I'm very tired.
It is.
Yeah, I think all of us are still recovering a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two levels of exhaustion on the cleric.
For all of us, we're still at like noon-ish, right?
Give me that one more time.
For all of us, we're still at like noon-ish, right?
It's about 3. Almost
Okay, because
4.
we
It
had
takes.
breakfast, we saw the sunken lab, we went in and we talked, and that's all we did.
Yeah,
so.
y'all been talking for a bit, and it took Tux a little bit of time to crawl his way to the Blackstorm Asylum.
Okay. So heading out to find Cathal to talk to her.
Okay, I was about to say, you have no idea where Corral is. Finally,
I have
someone
a better
else
idea
suffers
than
it.
most people.
Yes,
and a
you
way
do.
to keep checking.
Go to Corral. Hey, don't hurt Ammonestria. Woo!
Oh, you think Corral doesn't know who Ammonestria is?
I'm just going to tell everyone for you because I'm not sure who to tell. That'll be a thing.
All right. To correct me if I'm wrong, it is currently the 12th still, right?
Oh, it's the 13th.
13th. Okay, you would find.
We spent the 11th doing the ball and the 12th doing recovery.
Right. Yes, I remember now. Okay, so the 13th, you would find her up on the roof.
Where we are currently?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, one of her. Yeah, she's in her little sniper's nest area.
Okay.
Y'all never mess with her sniper's nest, so.
Hey, Cathal!
What?
I talked to Feredir, and he said don't hurt Ammonestria in case they're related.
That's weird, but okay.
How's she doing?
I put her in her room.
Okay. Hey, speaking of rooms, do we have a place that Frisk could stay for the night? He's kind of still a little hurt from a mission that he accompanied him on.
Do you want to put him in the barracks, or do you want to put him in a private room?
Probably a private room if we've got one.
Yeah, third door down on the right after the secondary hall. It's unlocked.
The door's auto-locked, so where can he get the key?
It's in the room.
Thinking in Rail's experience, keys are something that happen to other people.
Okay, Frizz, let's show you your spot, and then I think Feredir's gonna be out for a while, so I don't think we can get right back to the lab. Probably a little bit tired. I was thinking of going to see Spanner to, help with the armor analyzing or something, but
Yeah.
Have you met Spanner? He works in your building.
I don't believe so.
You can make a history check if you want.
Yeah, I'll make a history check. Oh, maybe I do. That'll be a dirty 20.
Okay. let's see here now. At that, I would say while you're not personally familiar with him because he is operating under a different lab, you are aware of ratchet fairies that live within the Nyx Guild Hall.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's a ratchet fairy there in the lab of metallurgy. He's the one that helped get my armor analyzed the first time.
I do not believe I know him. But I do know other ratchet fairies. I may have some connections through some of them. I don't know. Possibly. I'll choose High for this.
So are we for taking a restful evening instead?
I would prefer so. It's been
A kidnapping day?
almost a day. Yeah, I've been kidnapped. I've been irradiated. I haven't been able to sleep well. I'm tired.
Force-fed a panacea.
Let's find you where that room is. And Ingrid
Yes.
heads off downstairs.
Alright.
Apple.
The rooms are, for the most part, about a 25 by 25 foot space. Subterranean, so there is no window. The doors are single door, solid wood. They automatically lock when they're closed. So the fact that this one is open is due to the fact that there is a small wedge of wood between the door frame and it to keep, it from closing all the way. Inside the room is a very simple bed, table, chair with a key sitting on the tabletop.
Alright. So, thank you. I'm just gonna, throw myself in the corner, just kind of crash face first in the bed.
Okay.
After everything.
Well, if you get up for any reading or anything later, I might go see what there is to read in the Shadowmance.
Oh, thank you. I'll find something.
And Ingrid's going to head out to check with Griggum and Rail and see if they have anything they want to take care of, or if we're going to just kind of call it downtime for a few hours.
Griggum, Rail, where y'all at? What y'all doing?
I think Rail is going to be doing some quiet research on his own.
So Rail's probably in the library.
Yes. Specifically researching the Raven's Talon and just seeing if they can find any historical documents on the convoluted history of those two families. Or three families. Or
Isn't
one
our
family,
library still
depending on how you
bare?
look at it. Oh, there's got to be some books.
We get it.
Corral created a general research library, and it's just like a 10 by 20 foot area with maybe 5 bookshelves worth of books. So it's not
Because it was empty when we moved in, so that's good to know.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a comprehensive research facility.
Alright, but at least it's a place to start looking.
Alright, make a investigation roll for me.
That's going to be at disadvantage. And I gotta actually grab my dice. Let's see. Sorry about this. Yes. That's not great. That is better, but doesn't matter. Total of 12.
You find a book on the history of Orzhov families. You kind of open it to the first page and just spend about 20 minutes staring at it.
Yeah. Rail is still not in the best of mental state. He tired.
Ingrid, you would find Rail in the library. Griggum, where would Ingrid be able to find you with, and what would you be up to?
That is a good question. wow, great. Like, I can't think of much of anything that Griggum would be doing apart from being, contemplative more and more these days.
There is
Like
a
a
relaxing
lot has
room.
been a lot has been happening, and every time he gets out of one of these things, new information comes in that it just is almost overwhelming, and he's like, ah, give me a moment. He goes back to contemplating more.
There is a kind of decompression chamber that has, like, a fireplace, a few light reading books, some chairs. It's designed for you to go just sit in and just have a quiet, relaxed space.
Yeah, pretty much Griggum is on his side on the floor, just, like one arm like propping his head and neck up, and the other one just has a bottle in hand before the fireplace.
All right.
He just is there like that, back to her, back to the door, I guess.
All right. So.
Oh, pretty much just taking it easy for the evening.
Yeah, like if you taking it easy.
I don't want to risk messing up any of my gyms. I might take a couple of the birds for a walk, let them practice.
Did you need me for anything?
I just figured I'd take a couple of my birds out or something, maybe. Spend some time outdoors.
Okay, so you needed Griggum for something? Or?
No, I was just checking if there's anything we needed to do company-wise. Scrying on people or stuff like that. If we're taking it easy today.
Okay, so you're interacting with Griggum then?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's snoring.
Okay. So I don't want to do my gym cutting or anything today because, skill checks.
Okay. Rail is in the library if you want to stop in and visit with him before you head out too.
Rel, just having a quiet book evening?
Need to find out a way to invent double coffee.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah,
Just take the entire pot.
Already exists. We had some.
It's called
Enough.
Sweet Street should have some wheat coffee. The kind that's for a week instead.
No,
You've got that
seriously.
bottle in your bag if you need a break from being under exhaustion for 4 hours. You'd still have time to sleep tonight.
That is very expired. It's been like 3 days.
Yeah, no, just heat it up. It'll be fine.
I'm gonna go out between a couple of the benches, take a couple of the birds with me, and let them practice going back and forth where I tell them to, with strings attached to their leg for messages. Should be back in before dark. We're gonna retire early also. Well, retire, not
I'm just
sleep so much.
I keep worrying that I'm missing something. But my brain isn't working well enough to tell if I'm missing something.
Tell you what, I'll stay within a mile, and if you have any questions of things I might know on my side of the family, you can send me a message.
Alright, will do. Hang on, but before you do, just so we were on the same page, because, I mean, everyone else in the agency is great, but sometimes you just gotta go with family, I guess. So we don't know if that dragon's going to try to eat us.
It might be in his interest to talk.
Alright, we do know that the serial killer is an angel. And was it a Boros angel or an Azorius angel?
A Boros and probably a current guild member, so that can make it a bit trickier.
Alright, and I don't even know.
Most of the angels in the Boros actually have soldiers or in a leadership position, so it's not like we're taking on a random Boros. We need to possibly convince her squadron that we're acting under this writ. We might want to make some copies of it that everyone can have on hand or something. And definitely stay at least in pairs, even if we're doing anything where we might run into her, because she's probably going to have a squadron of sorts.
Yeah, Let's not have anybody alone, because I'm also worried what might happen if she finds out that we're after her.
I don't know how much they can tell from scrying. She does know she was scryed on. So she does know that she's probably put together the dots that someone knows that she is a lawmaster.
Right.
So her alertness has probably gone up due to that.
Right. And I don't know much about that type of angel, but the other type of angel tend to be vengeful.
Might try to scry one more time at the end of the day, but...
Right. As long as we're careful.
Oh.
Okay. I'll be better after a good night's sleep. I am not doing any work for any... Is it, again, without some more information and a healthy hazard pay clause.
Hopefully if we go back and we collect this stuff, we'll at least get some hazard pay. In a way. We need to look into ways we can break those bigger stones up from a distance, maybe?
Right. There's
Yeah.
gotta be a way to shield against it. Or, hang on. Wait. Mivana, you weren't affected, were you?
Mivana looks at...
Like, I'm just
Got
assuming
close.
Mivana's there.
Yes, she tries to stay within about 20 feet of you at the farthest.
Right.
Not really, but I tend to be... She suffers. I don't get sick often.
Right. You don't get sick often, or you don't get sick at all?
It's
that a
been a
paladin
couple
thing?
years.
Right. So, and... Like, was I able to tell that the Lesser Restoration did something to me? Like, was I able to tell that it removed a condition?
I mean, the spell didn't fail, so it worked.
Right. Right. So this is some kind of like crystal sickness from these things. Which Mivana at least seems to be okay. So if you wouldn't mind trying it out, I mean, worst comes to worst, I could use restoration magic on you as well, but you might be able to just break that stuff up without having to worry about it affecting you.
I mean, we might be able to just hit him with some force damage and mage hand it. Can get something nice to contain it.
That's also true.
I mean, I don't know what that would do if we hit it with force damage, but we could
I'd rather
try.
not. We don't have like a blasting zone, unfortunately. Although if we're gonna have an is it staying with us, maybe we should look into setting one of those up.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, the lab's mostly yours with Feredir back having his own lab, but I mean, if you wanted to do some joint simic / is it research while you've got a lab partner?
Sure. Now I'll talk to him. Oh, wait, where's Frizz right now? Is he resting or is he up and about?
He's resting.
Frizz is resting.
He got hit with it too, didn't he? All right. I'm just trying not to lose a step until I can get my brain back in order.
I'm not going too far myself. I'm mostly going to let the birds do the work. I'm thinking take a pigeon and a crow and just have them practice going back and forth to locations I tell them or that we've walked before.
You know what? Could you use an extra?
The familiar?
Yeah, if you
I mean,
want
if
Hermes to come with you.
It wants to practice being a messenger bird, I suppose. Or just, hang out and chat with a watcher. Watcher's good company.
Yeah, why not? Go on, Hermes. Get some fresh air under your wings.
Kind of like hops off of your shoulder and onto Ingrid's.
Then I check around the corners of the library just to see if Tipple's hiding anywhere.
Make a perception roll.
Okay. I only got like an 8 and Watcher got like a 14.
Now, you haven't seen Tippletop in a few days.
If you see Tippletop, tell him not to steal anything.
Will do.
Feredir.
Though I don't think that may be a lost cause.
Your pain is starting to come back.
So, yeah, pain's starting to come back. Could you guys speed up the recovery process?
The doctor looks up from where he is kind of jigsaw puzzling your replaced ankle. Or your removed ankle parts with a mild adhesive. Yes. And he comes over and he's like, fiddles through his pockets and pulls out a small crystal vial of some sort of reddish gold liquid. And he just like pops it open, pours it over your ankle, and like the wounds start to mend and heal as he expends a potion of not potion of restoration. What was the name of it? A vitality elixir on you, which functions as a 6th level heal spell. So yeah, you're good to go now.
So no 4-week heal time.
I mean, do you want it?
This is out of character.
Hammer. No.
So he's allowed to jump without 4 weeks of wait now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't want to be like, I jump, and you're like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
you asked them to heal you, so...
Yep.
Keep in mind, asking them to heal you is different than asking them to fix you.
I know what I said.
I pulled a page out of my notebook before I leave that's got the etching of the armor pattern and the little drawing of the relative from the locket, and leave it with Rail for research.
Alright.
Oh, is the whole procedure done at this point, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're kind of watching you, but they're also looking at the removed ankle bone and kind of sticking bits of it back together.
I can appreciate that. Everybody likes puzzles. But my vantage point, at least, yeah, I'm going to collect Kay and go back home.
Joel stops you on your way and says, a quick couple of things to keep in mind with the core replacements. Try to avoid any size-changing magics for at least 2 weeks. Also, try to avoid being in overly bright areas, overly dark areas, moderately dark areas, moderately bright areas,
and extremely moist areas.
and I think that's the rest of it. Oh, also, you will need to ingest about a cup of seawater every day for 2 weeks.
Okay. By the light, though.
Better safe than sorry.
Okay. Good to know.
You may also want to avoid red meats. But that's just more for your general heart health.
Yeah, what are my vitals at?
Adventuring is a hard life. You're doing much better than expected. The average age of death for most people in the Guardian Project is well under 2 years, and you are exceeding that. So, congratulations, Elder.
Elder.
Wait. That's... Sorry, is that my rank?
No.
Dude, I need to make a check on Elder?
You can if you want. I make it just a straight intelligence check.
18?
18? Yeah, he's implying you're an old man because you've lived longer than the expected age of most Guardian Project subjects.
Oh, it's just like I was called Eldrin before, so yeah. Kind of on the lookout for.
He blinks a little. Huh. Okay.
I say that out loud. I think maybe the anesthesia is still having some effects. I apologize.
It's like, I have no internal filter anymore.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
He's yes. So, did you need anything else from the lab, or did you have anything to report, or any work to submit to the record?
Out of character, I apologize. I forgot to refill my coffee, so
Aw.
bear with me for a second.
You can do that in character too.
I don't think you took any samples or anything for your new mission.
Yeah, I didn't take any of the line samples. Sort of generally, if I do have anything, I'm not like keeping it hidden. I don't think, with the exception of the lab, or specifically the lab under the park.
I'm going to assume this is out of character.
This is an out of character comment.
It's like
anything other than that.
Telling your boss, I'm not hiding anything except for like the 2 or 3 things that I'm hiding.
Yeah, maybe that would be out loud, actually. Anesthesia.
Really? You're gonna mention? Okay.
Don't be
just
fair. If you know of anybody under anesthesia, you don't have a choice.
We may have given you a bit too much. Are you good to get yourself home?
I think so.
Well, that is good enough for me. And gives you kind of a slap on the shoulders, like, if you happen to come across any rare or interesting samples, you know we pay a bounty on those.
Sure thing. I will lead to the Secondsight agency.
Hey guys, Feredir walked in the door, which is impressive.
Since that took a few hours, it's like evening and we're all getting back.
Yeah. Ingrid, you spent a couple hours.
Right than I expected.
You spend like a good bit of time doing like little training relays with your minions. I don't know how to refer to these.
I mean, I've got Watcher helping me train, a bird playing at training, that's a familiar, and the 2 birds I'm actually training, so. She definitely has ads right now.
Yeah, I don't know how to refer to this pack. I guess your flock. You spend some time training your flock. I don't know why this is...
A flock of reanimated corpses.
Only 2 of them
Like
are.
the Tim Burton
I only
version
brought
of...
2 of them with me to train.
Like the Tim Burton version of Snow White. It's like frolicking through the forest with all these undead animals, like just coming up to you.
That would probably be very accurate for Ingrid.
I think I'm getting the right Disney movie.
I'm just checking if I'm back too when he gets back.
Yes, you are. I was going to give a short summation of you having them fly relays back and forth between key points. But I got sidetracked by contemplating the nature of names. Roleplay.
What were you telling him, Rail?
Saying you're looking much more vertical than I expected.
All healed. And still modification.
All healed.
Little modification.
Oh.
Don't be angry.
Well, you don't.
I don't
seem
like
to
it when
have
you're angry.
tentacles.
I like
Feredir,
the
I'm
sound-
too tired to be angry.
Never
I'm
really
like-
talk anymore, do we?
You know what would be fun?
By the way, he's still clearly under the anesthesia.
You know what would be fun, Feredir? And she gives him guidance. We should see if Frizz is back up from his nap, and you could try to activate the crossbow.
To go to sleep.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about a clearly drugged, whatever Feredir is, you attempting to activate weaponry.
Yeah, I kind of agree that that's probably not the best of ideas.
Okay.
Aww.
But it was a good suggestion. I'm trying. I appreciate that.
I just thought, since it's like, is it made and it glows red and blue and everything, maybe he'd be able to tell you more about it. But we should probably wait till he feels better, too. Maybe tomorrow.
Definitely a good idea when we're all in better shape.
Yeah, Feredir is now in the corner looking at his glowing crossbow.
It's not
like
glowing unless
mesmerized
you
by-
activate it.
There is a faint glow from the heart of it. The filigree, the mechanical filigree shifts and rotates around, blocking much of the light until you solve it. But there is still a very faint glow from it.
Idiot. By the way, did you see a bunch of dead birds flying around?
If so, only 2 of them I took out. My other 10 are on the roof pretending to be garden statues.
Do you want help with that? Ready
Being garden statues or flying around?
training them?
That would be cool. They'd be much better messengers if, they could actually stop at someone and deliver a message.
Yeah, I don't claim to be an expert, but animals are kind of part of my thing.
Okay, I've been thinking of taking a couple of them with us on trips and just throwing them in the vault when we're, around people.
They would handle the transition a lot better than most animals.
Or normally I would be. I'm gonna be honest. I was terrified for a minute. Then I remembered. Oh yeah, undead. They don't need to breathe.
Right. I was
So, not gonna lie. Both in and out of character, I was very worried. Oh, logic proceeded. Get out of the way. Please don't abuse animals.
Are they? They're not really animals anymore.
They have some sentience, right?
Or
Or are they completely zombies?
They have an intelligence of, I believe, 2.
It's about the same as a regular bird, then.
I guess that does. Out of character, would my animal handling actually be of any effort, or would they be so brainwashed that
They are not animals anymore. They're
Okay.
more akin to biological machines.
Okay.
Still, training them as a messenger where they can actually deliver a message is useful.
Yeah. Just one of the philosophical questions I was pondering.
This is why I've been taking philosophy of science fiction and philosophy of fantasy courses.
Entire class on elf racism.
Did you know Elvish
see-
has no racial slurs against elves?
Elves are very good at implying things, anyway.
Yeah, I thought that technically was it in the actual canon that in Elvish you can only speak the truth, or was that some offshoot thing.
That's something different.
That's
Okay,
not different.
I
Yeah,
apologize.
and I know what poster your comments from, to you, Gyarados.
Yes.
Never mind. Anyways, not chatting. It's not.
An undead
No.
bird flies through the room.
Think we're pretty much all turning in.
Feredir is tracking it, very obviously resisting an urge to use it as target practice.
So, do we actually have an undead bird flying through the room, or are you just mentioning it?
I mean, did you return the two that you had with you, or?
Yeah, they're with me, so
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
they
just
could be
flying
flying
around. Yeah.
Okay. I'm. What time is it?
It's like I'd be willing to say it's about 7 at this point. Surgery takes up more time than you expect.
I mean, that's fair. I'd rather they take their time, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, you don't want your doctor doing a speed run.
Yeah. Especially for Simic.
Get out of the skybox has a whole nother meaning.
Yeah, speedrunning the healing process is fine. Speedrunning the actual implementation process, not as much. Okay, so I'm going to go to the dormitory. Or wait, shoot, no, I wouldn't know that. Happen to know where Ammonestria is?
No, Cathal was on the roof. If she's still there, she might know. She was in her room. That's what she said, but that was hours ago. And I also don't know if she's tied down or not. I didn't ask.
Hey.
If I didn't give Griggum the coin back, and I think I would have as soon as he came in, I go ahead and I give it back to him now.
Alright, Griggum, you get your Blackstone coin back.
I'm sure he'll notice it once he wakes up. It's like,
So, I guess I'll check the kitchen first.
Right.
Any Ammonestria?
No one's in the kitchen. It's kind of late in the evening. There is the remains of the meal that the staff was eating.
I should probably get something on my stomach due to the anesthesia.
There's a bottle of bourbon on the table.
No, the kind that, you know.
No, there's
I'm looking
food
for
in the cold
lessening,
box.
not increase.
There's food in the cold box. A simple cold cut meal is easily available. Bread, cheeses, meats, the standard stuffs.
I'll fix me a meal and have some of the meat. I don't think dogs can have cheese. Appropriate things for a cat.
I don't know
Is
if
it
they
good?
can, but they love it.
I don't remember. Anyways,
Anyway,
I don't want to find out.
a meal is had.
Hooray. After meal.
I think I should do one more scrying on the Lawmaster tonight.
If you don't think it's too much of a risk.
Yeah, if it's risky, we should wait until tomorrow when one is affected. There's
Just do
no
it.
risk of detection.
Just do it first thing when you guys wake up in the morning. Ingrid casts her hex so it can be run.
Okay. Y'all watch Ingrid pull a bug out of her bag, whisper to it a little, and then crush it in her hand and drop it back in the bag.
Now get some of the leftover scraps because I figured I probably followed Feredir because we were talking. Put a few more scraps in the bag for them to eat.
Okay.
Close up the bag.
Yeah, she then
But the bug thing.
Spellcasting. It's, weird sometimes.
What spell?
Huh?
What spell?
I was cursing the bug and then I killed it. So now there's just a floating curse around that, you can put on something.
Like, where's the bug?
Huh?
And you kill it.
Huh?
Transfer the curse?
The curse just stays and the bug's gone. I mean, it's not gone, it's food.
Right.
I mean, it's cheaper than scribing a hex scroll.
Do you have to do it at a certain regular interval?
If I lose the spell, or if I want to have the spell and the spell's going away, I mean, it lasts for like a whole day. Unless I do something else.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's
Out of character, is this something special Ingrid can do?
Hex has a 24-hour period when it's cast at 5th level.
Oh, at 5th. Okay, because I was like, I just recently got finished playing a character that, and I was like, doesn't it have like an hour max?
No, she's got, Warlock. 5th level spells slots are her max.
Only like 2 of them.
Yeah, I understand how Warlock works. It's like, I was confused with how Hex worked.
Oh, yeah, no, when you cast at higher levels. No, Warlocks are great for upcast spells.
Yeah, and they do regain their spells slots per short rest, so...
Yep. So essentially what she's doing, she's casting Hex and then taking a short rest and getting the spell slot back. But since she can maintain concentration on Hex for up to 24 hours, and as a undead warlock, undead patron warlock, she no longer has to sleep, she can maintain that concentration through a long rest.
I think you can either way.
It's very hard to concentrate on things while you're asleep.
Okay,
Well,
look,
that's
because
a rules as written versus intended discussion.
I'll admit, the character that I was using Hex with was a Blood Hunter, so like, I only just hit level 5 on that character, and they don't have quite that
Yeah, no, they're half
level of
cast.
progression. Yeah, they don't have that level of progression Warlock does. It's like, which honestly, Warlock doesn't have much progression at all.
Because I was doing it through the long rest before non-sleep thing. I thought we looked up a ruling on it, but I could be misremembering.
I'll do some research
guess
on
it doesn't
later. It's not super
matter at the
important
moment,
right now.
anyway.
It is literally a moot point at this point.
So
I'll just keep an eye out for Pan in case he comes by. I'm going to be in the main room a little bit while y'all rest. See if I run into Pan or anybody.
I mean, you could actively look for Pan. He's not that hard to find. He has a office.
I mean, I could, but I've got all night to run into him. I guess I'll go find him.
All right.
I could look for the person, but I've got all night to just accidentally run.
I mean,
Why are you externalizing my introvertedness? Damn it!
I
I could directly see this person, but what's the point? I might just accidentally bump into them.
I mean, that's how she was about her family history too, and it worked.
I'm in this post and I'm not happy about it.
I guess you can't argue with success.
Okay, so I'll go find Pan for any new news, and then I think calling it a night.
All right. Pan's office is a weirdly set up kind of data aggregate hub. There are piles of reports in different stages of completionist, all in different handwriting, while a map of Ravnica has a number of different colored threads strung from various points to other points, as well as a number of small handwritten notes around the corner. He looks up from one of the papers that he is reading over, as you can say. Oh, Miss Ingrid, how may I help you?
We've been out of sorts for a few days again and might be about to travel. I was just wondering what the news had recently, or if you've got a stack of papers around, since have some extra reading time.
He kind of looks over the pile of paperwork that he has to go through. So, there are a few, but I can certainly just give you a quick summation. Is there anything particular that you were looking for information on?
And we're always looking if there's any new developments on Lawmaster thing. I have one. She's an angel. But other than that,
He blinks, stops, and starts writing down some information. So,
it's
that
a Boros angel. Other than that, just any stuff that's been going on, any burning hand in the news, always anything with the park because we still haven't taken care of it.
Okay, well, that is mildly distressing information about the identity of the Lawmaster. I can say this, that a number of the reports that we have followed up on from the 1st and 2nd Precinct about deaths appear to have several aspects that make them... He basically stops for a moment and is like, thinks it had a word. There are no bodies, and the witnesses that are listed do not exist.
People definitely existed and are missing, right?
Not that we have been able to ascertain.
So there's death reports being turned in. The people that got killed don't exist. The witnesses don't exist, and there's no body?
Yes.
Huh. The early cases had actual bodies and...
Yes, no. It looks almost like these are being filed falsely to draw attention to... Possibly, yes.
District was the last one that had a body in.
The last confirmed body was in the 4th Precinct.
And with all the, say, lack of coordination the last few months, that could still be ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like this might still be in our backyard.
It is a very strong possibility. I mean, we have not disproven that these events happened. We have not proven that these events did not happen. So we cannot be 100% certain. But we are unable to locate any records of the Golgari picking up the bodies. We have been unable to locate any records in the Azorius of the victims having been using public systems. There are no records of financials as reported by the Orzhov. That was a very expensive research. Essentially, we are finding the paperwork has been submitted, but none of the actual events happened. But the Azorius being the Azorius, if you submit paperwork to them, they will process the paperwork.
That makes sense because some of the cases were in Chalmerdon Chapter House area, and the papers never came across her desk or were signed by her. They were still filed and available for research when we went to research.
That would mean that whoever was submitting the paperwork was doing so directly to the location that it would be stored in, bypassing the necessary steps of having it submitted to the chapter captain.
So directly to the archives?
Mm-hmm.
Would think.
That is where most research is done. That's where the Demir are, via their agreement with the Azorius, are allowed to draw information for the reporting.
And it wouldn't be likely that a Boros would have direct archive access, would it?
It depends.
Especially if it was on file numbers and showed up in the system.
I don't think so. I mean, the Boros and the Azorius often work together on projects.
Out of character. Out of character, I would think maybe Boros Brass might have some access, but...
Yeah. They often... the Boros and the Azorius often work together hand in hand on law enforcement.
So, like, if a Boros came up and was holding Azorius reports, would they be able to get them filed in the archives, you think?
A Boros would be able to hand deliver something to the archives and say, this needs to be filed under X or Y, depending upon the subject of the paperwork, yes.
The reports themselves look Azorius. That wouldn't seem funny?
I mean, you can get he goes over to the one of the stacks and pulls out like a sheet of paper that has a very official Azorius border and around the edge of it. It's possible to get official paperwork. I mean, that is why it has to be notarized by chapter captains, because otherwise...
I suppose the one archive person we met was perhaps not in the best condition to confirm authenticity or notice if it was Azorius when it shouldn't have. Person was not as perceptive. So I could see that being a whole insecurity rather than a partnership.
He kind of nods a bit. It's like puts the official document back on the pile. It's like goes back to it. Says, as for the other information, the Rakdos are beginning to prepare for their slaughter games. They have not announced a location yet, but with the rebuilding underway, as well as the prominence of certain rising ringleaders, it is expected to be either in the 4th or the 4th or the 3rd precinct. Let's see here now. He goes through the rest of there's very little information on the Gruul territories, unfortunately. I know you have a errand to run out there. Anything else?
There wasn't anything new on the park, right? I think we have a little while.
Nope, the dedication ceremony has been scheduled. The declaration will not begin until the day before. The official handover of title was already done, but until the ceremony happens, it is not publicly acknowledged as having traded hands.
Okay. I might just be in either the main room or the library, so if anything comes up, feel free to check in. I'm just gonna go check on, just check on my room and office and stuff, and then I'll probably be in the main room.
Have a nice night, ma'am.
Okay.
And he goes back to working on his paperwork. Anyone else doing anything, or is everyone calling it a night?
I'm going to check on Estria's room.
Alright. The door is locked.
I shall not.
No response.
Well, shit. We don't have, a skeleton key.
No, not really. You've
But you
seen
have a friend
several.
named Rail.
Yeah, you've seen several
Nirvana.
members of your party or members of the company literally picking locks of each other's doors.
I mean, I don't. Like,
I mean, you have a literal covert insertion team that is explicitly trained for locksmithing.
Eldritch team.
Yeah, no. I comes into the window.
Yeah. Sometimes out the window, too.
It's fine. Everybody's probably going to bed and or is in a really weird state where like they're not themselves for some reason, but okay.
Well, they're like 2% coral now. That's gotta be messing with the blood chemistry. Kay's a jelly dog. He can squirm through under the door.
Oh yeah. Hey, go to the other side and open the door for me.
Make an animal handling check. Because this isn't his combat training. It's okay, you're a ranger. You're all about handling animals.
Is that still a skill? Like,
Yeah.
23?
oh yeah, no.
I'm sorry, did you say 33?
23.
Oh, 23. Kay kind of looks up at you and he's like, you haven't really had him use his squish before. And it's actually quite disturbing to watch him wedge his way under like the 1.5-inch door frame. But he somehow manages to do it. There is a quiet moment and then the door clicks open as Kay's paw twists the handle and pushes the door open with his mouth.
Boy.
A round knob or a bar door
It is
handle?
a round knob.
He is an excellent dog.
Is impressive.
Yeah, he had to bite the handle and twist his head to open it.
Dogs can do it with their paws.
Not on.
I'd
It's
say
hard
this
on round
firsthand.
knobs. It's harder on round knobs than it is on lever knobs. The inside of Amnestria's room is very plain. There's nothing that seems to have been moved in beyond the basic furniture, desk, and chair, with the exception of a number of divination tools scattered about the floor, about the desk, on the bed, on the floor next to the bed, piled up in one corner. There are also about 23 hand-drawn pictures of Feredir tacked to the wall.
What kind of tools was it?
Divination.
Oh,
Like
divination.
there's playing cards, divining rods, dice, seeing bowls, tea bags, cups.
Gotcha. I'm going to. And is she asleep? Or
She's not in
still
the
under
room.
the. Oh. Wait. Okay, do I need to make a history check for this? But I thought the last time I saw her, she was like in a cell or something.
What happened was the last time you saw her, Cathal was taking her to one of the holding cells. Cathal told Ingrid that she is in her room.
Okay, well, I'm going to go check the holding cell then, but I'm going to door open.
Okay, you put like the little block
Bedroom.
wedge in place to keep the door from latching. That's no problem. Amnestria is indeed in one of the holding cells. She is asleep on the bunk.
Hey,
Don't lie to me!
No, it is her room now.
Not wrong.
Clang.
She kind of
No.
like sits up after a few moments of you making noise at her, like blinks a little, looks at you. Oh. Then looks around. Oh.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I've been better.
Yeah. So I think you know what I'm gonna ask you.
Probably.
So why don't we just sit down and have a chat?
She looks really dejected, but stays like sitting on the cot.
Okay, look. First off, I'm not the best person, but let's just say I have a bit better of an understanding of mental health than some. So let's just talk about how we feel.
She lets out a deep sigh. Frustrated.
About what exactly?
I thought that, everything said that doing this would fix things, but
Okay, so if I can ask, what's broken?
you are.
Okay, so this may be a dumb question, but I have to ask it anyway. How so?
You do not remember me.
Correct. So, how should I remember you?
As Arassa.
History check?
Go ahead and make a history check.
18.
The name sounds familiar, but you don't know where you've heard it before.
The name does sound familiar, but I don't know where I heard that before.
She starts crying.
Oh, okay. So the name Amnestra is just a false name, correct?
Are you asking her that, or are you asking me that?
Or-
It is... It is not me.
So your name is Arassa.
Arassa and Rona.
Arassa in Rome. Okay. Okay. So I guess my first question is, how do we know each other?
You asked me to
Or knew
marry
each
you.
other? Did it work?
I took your name.
So you're my wife.
I was.
You got divorced?
You disappeared.
Hey. Ooh. Hey. Oh. So when you say disappeared,
I came home one day, and you were gone, and all that was left was a Orzhov coin on the table.
Not a character question.
Mm-hmm.
Orzhov don't make currency. It's the Ozorius.
Orzhov make two current currencies. They make a alms coin out of copper that is generally considered to be about 1 zib, and they make platinum coins. They make gold coins for their necklaces, but they're not technically a currency.
Orderation. Okay. Gave that coin, dude. Okay. Does the Orzhov coin have any significance?
Make a history check.
Okay. That was allowed. 18.
18. You found a Orzhov coin in the house that you were drawn to at one point, and then later gave it to Watcher.
My character, that part I remembered, but I'm asking her if that has any significance.
Oh, okay. It meant that the debt was paid. The collectors stopped coming.
Hey, I was in debt?
We were.
Okay.
She touches the hip that she limps on because of me.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I was in debt to the Orzhov.
We.
Out of character question, do they keep like public records of that sort of thing?
The Orzhov don't have anything public.
Okay.
But they would keep records.
But they keep internal records.
Yes, they would.
Okay, so if I knew a high-ranking Orzhov, I could. Okay, so
Gonna have to start buttering up, man.
I mean, he only got disadvantage on all his Orzhov checks for another half a month.
It's sort of one of those. It's not that I don't trust her, but obviously I'm probably going to do a little bit of research to corroborate the stuff and not just like, oh, you're my wife. I believe you, person who just tried to... This is out of character. Just tried to break my legs that you are my wife and not just saying it because you're delusional.
Well, she didn't try. She was very successful in that.
Had other legs.
Technically, those are part of your arms.
Legs and air quotes.
But let's be honest. It was basically the equivalent of a handstand that got you around.
So, we're married.
Is that a question or a statement?
Just making sure that I have this right.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Your name's Arassa and Rona.
Arassa.
Probably actually taking notes. Just to I probably didn't say this out loud, but I'm obviously taking notes on this on a pen and paper. So right now it's almost like it probably seems kind of weird because I feel like he's being it's almost oddly devoid of emotion. It's almost like kind of a police interviewing a witness, he's not being intimidating or anything, but very matter of fact. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, Arassa and Rona, Amnestra, the name doesn't exist. That was just like an alias you went to
I mean, it's a
hired.
name. It's not my name.
Your name. Okay. I have to ask, have you done anything other than, I'll call it the unpleasantness that happened? Geez, would it be earlier today?
Yeah, it's been a long day. No, I mean, other than scrying on you and auguries and divinations and communions and as many as I could, as often as I could, trying to find some way to bring you back.
Okay. I have questions on the execution.
The communion said that it could fix things, and the divination said that it would help, and the augury said that it would bring weal, but it would also bring woe.
Not a lot of woe. I mean, okay. Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna have to ask a bit about that divination stuff. So you were always good at were you always good at divination, or?
I mean, I had a natural talent, but I also had 4 years of a really excellent drive to master as much of it as I could.
Okay. Out of character question, what race is she?
She is a high elf.
Okay. She looks old for a high elf, which is pretty damn old, correct?
No, she's like 134. That's like the equivalent of elf late 20s.
Okay.
She just has like a kind of librarian quality because of the robes and the glasses hanging from a chain around her neck.
Yeah, that's totally. Yeah. I have no question that I asked her to marry me. I'm just surprised that she accepted.
Anyway. So that librarians thing carries over, huh?
You don't give yourself enough credit.
Feredir's player is like, yeah, that scans.
I mean, I'll reread her description from the first time. High elf female, wears quality robes and it has a pair of spectacles hanging from a chain around her neck. Her skin is lightly bronzed and she has green almond-shaped eyes ringed by silver. Her dark brown hair falls to her shoulders with light copper highlights. She walks with a slight limp.
So, how do you want to go about this?
I don't... However you want to, Eldrin.
I want to know what you want.
To have my husband back?
Okay. I don't know if I could go back to being the husband you married, but I can try to be me as much as possible, if that makes sense.
Okay. You don't remember anything about me.
Oh, but from this conversation, I would hope that you would gauge that you're not nothing to me.
You don't remember anything about your brothers or sisters? Or your father?
Not to be rude, but right now, can we just this about us? As I'm trying to kind of process what's going on. Okay. So we're married. Like we have the marriage certificate.
Under ourselves. Yes.
Okay. Are you
Go the consort method?
I'm sorry, what?
They didn't do the consort method? Guess that's just Devkarin. Okay.
No, I'm Azorius like your father. That is how we met. I was his, junior assistant.
Are you still in contact with my father?
He is retired. He retired after you went missing, and I haven't talked to him or any of your siblings in about 4 or 5 years now.
Okay. Do you still remember, like, addresses? Is it possibly contacting him?
I mean, it shouldn't be impossible, no. The Zoyas are very good at keeping records.
So, I have a question, and I want you to be honest.
Okay.
If we just, like, act like this was just a misunderstanding, will you please just talk to me? You know, like, discuss things with me, be open, be like, hey, I have this thing where breaking your legs will somehow help. Don't worry, but this is a thing.
She looks and is like, if I had told you that the card said that breaking your legs would bring you back to me, would you have let me?
I just had my ankles replaced with coral.
That...
No, I'm
My
not exactly
God,
what you would call the
Eldrin, are
typical
you
person.
okay? I thought that they had healed you. Like, do not mutilate yourself
it was
more.
part of the process.
She starts crying again.
Okay. And in future, I will make sure to discuss these major elective surgeries with you in the future. You know, give and take.
Don't worry. The agency has good health insurance.
I mean, it paid
Would
for
that
rail
help?
bills.
It did.
We're not poor anymore.
And yet. There's limitations on healthcare. Only does so much.
Oh yeah, about as much as the doctors can do.
She eventually, stops crying and rubs at her eyes again.
But we do that. We communicate with each other, not a game or anything like that. Look, I know that I'm not going to snap my fingers and bam, you're my wife and I'm the husband that you knew. And once again, I've changed, obviously, but I don't know that I've changed that much. And if I haven't changed that much, science is correct, then you being honest with me being honest with you, will fall right back in love with each other again. Somewhat where we were before. I mean, given the same inputs, you expect the same output.
What science is he drawing from here?
She rubs her eyes a little bit more. It's like, I didn't want to hurt you. It's just that everything said that was what I had to do, and so I had to do
I mean, again, it's difficult. Be honest, I've had worse. Communication.
Well, think of it this way.
She
Out of
nods a
character,
little.
This did
Okay.
get you two talking.
Yes, but if she could have just said, "Hey, I know you. Let's communicate." That. Anyway, so
Look, all the thing will tell her is if it's a good idea or not. It said both. It's like it can't tell her the correct answer. It can only give her a yes or no.
Well, no, she was casting them like 6 times a day each.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, no.
okay.
Well, there's your problem.
Pace yourself, girl.
Also,
this is how you're still a student.
you're okay with your current position of having
Uh,
people here?
I mean,
Like, is that all okay?
I would rather different chambers, but other than that,
By different chambers, do you mean mine?
no, I mean ones that don't have bars.
No, like your
Oh yeah, this is
third
a
room.
cell.
Though we probably do need to help a bit with rearranging things. I noticed you are having a bit of a storage issue. I could probably stock up some shelves. Get that, get some nice slide out drawers here so that we can get that more organized. No offense, but I don't think it would be. I could do the whole go back to both of us staying in the same chambers like immediately for reasons. I feel like that would be disingenuous, but yeah, I think that it's about the future. It's about tomorrow.
Eldrin,
Yes.
I know you had been through a lot today, but I've been through a lot today too. Can I get some sleep, please?
Yeah, but first, let me get you out of here so that you could at least sleep in a comfortable bed.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I'm assuming that I don't have the ability to unlock the cell.
I don't know, how's your lockpicking?
I feel like this isn't something that Kay could slide through the bars and open the
No.
door on the other side. So I'm going to try to find Cathal.
Cathal is, you can find her, she is still up on the roof. Periodically she is pointing her rifle, like the Promise of Justice, up into the air, and she fires like a bolt of fire that streaks off in a seemingly random direction.
Hey, Cathal,
Hmm?
I
What?
have the keys to the cells.
Why?
I want to let my wife out. Turns out it was just a misunderstanding.
She stops for a moment and closes her eyes. It's like, visibly you can see her like counting to 10 before she pulls a key from one of her pockets and tosses it to you on her hand. So just
Thank you.
leave it on the table in the main area.
Yes, ma'am.
She isn't counting to 10 out of anger. She's counting to 10 because it's the 10th key.
Well, no, there's anger too. Cathal is an angry
Oh yeah,
little
no,
elf.
no. It's like
Yeah.
she doesn't need counting to handle her anger. She is anger.
That's
Okay.
the secret, Tony. I'm always angry.
I gotta unlock the cell and just kind of have my arms in kind of an open stance, like wanna hug.
She kind of awkwardly holds her one arm with her hand, looking at you before she kind of leans into it. She doesn't hug you back, but she lets you give her a hug.
Okay. Look, I know it's complicated, but we'll get through this, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Eldrin.
Also, I really like your cooking.
That's always nice to hear again.
So is it okay if I tell the others about you actually being Arassa, my wife?
I've never stopped you from doing what you want to do.
And once again, what I want to do is ask you if that's okay, because that's kind of your thing, and I don't want to do things regarding you without your permission.
I do not even know if they are going to allow me to stay here, so that is fine.
Okay. If you're cool, but like if your name's Arassa, I just figured people should address you by your name.
Okay.
Also, understanding that you're my wife, just to make sure that no complications arise. Doubt they would, but there's been a lot of complications, and I just want to avoid more.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of walk her to her room.
She does not have a problem with you escorting her. She goes in and closes the door behind her. Through the door, you hear her say, "Good night, Eldrin."
Night, Arassa. Well, it's gonna kind of and Case stays
in the room.
Sorry, normally the dog's stays. Normally I would consult with you, but this one's non-negotiable.
I'm not letting go of this dog.
Okay. He seems sweet.
Ingrid.
That broke up a bit for me.
Is Ingrid still up?
Oh God,
Yeah,
yes.
she's going back to the main room. Yeah, that's where all the who keep extra like stationery supplies and stuff. She's gonna be up drawing.
Ingrid,
Yeah?
probably want to make this short, but yeah. So Ammonestria is not actually Ammonestria. Name's
Okay.
Arassa.
Okay.
She's my wife.
That's
and,
interesting.
Yeah. So it's just sort of, one of those things. I probably deserved it anyway somehow.
Do you think that's why you were so bad at picking up girls? I need to tell Choso about this.
I mean, I didn't know at the time. Don't mention her actual name.
Okay.
Or her pseudonym. Certainly don't mention that she lives here.
Choso will only offer once if I want someone murdered. It's not like she'll insist every time I see her.
Yeah, but what if she wants to murder them?
Hey, you're not that good a conversationalist.
You don't think I impressed her very well?
You're moving towards being a friend to her. How about that?
So it all worked out. Cool. But yeah, kind of same as usual. Just her name's Arassa.
Okay, Kristal said she was in her room earlier. Is she, like, working, or?
No change. Just name. Again, I suppose.
So she kidnapped you because you're her husband?
Yeah, I mean,
It's kind of badass.
agreed. I mean, I've always had a fondness for her, regardless of circumstances.
I know you were so handsy at the interview. I mean, I didn't trust her, but I mean, now that, people are married and all, definitely it makes sense her working here.
Yeah, also, may not have a home. I may be partially to blame for that. So, there's that aspect too.
You think she'll write like a penny adventure novel about it later?
Maybe. Depends on what you.
I mean, she
Anyways,
likes
I know.
to write.
Yeah. Yes, she does. Just wanted to let you know, it'll be about. She's not escaped or anything.
I don't have to worry about her drugging you or anything. Like, should we be watching for that? I wasn't going to watch food being prepped, but
I don't know what drugs actually affect me or what effect they have, so. I mean, in Golgari, I'm sure you're a little more used to that sort of thing.
I mean,
Not gonna
it's usually
say
just
yes.
poisons, not like whatever she did before. So should I tell the others, or you should tell them, right?
I figured so, but they're asleep, and I don't want to
Okay.
wake them up. But I do feel like you need to tell them before they wake up before us, and then find Arassa around and.
She only sleeps 4 hours, so if I see her around, I'll say hi.
Oh, right,
I
you
guess.
don't sleep anymore. Yeah, so like if you could just watch out for the others and tell them that Menestria is like cool.
You can tell them in the morning.
I'll explain the rest of them, but just exactly. I just don't want any more complications.
You won't get mad if I tell her she should write a pen novel, right?
I respect your opinion and trust you to do the right thing.
Okay, good night, Feredir.
Good night.
Alright, and I think with that, we're finally taking a long rest, or did anyone else have anything else?
One last thing for me. Like, well, everyone else was distracted. It's like, Rail is going to sneak out.
Okay. Where's
Griggum?
Griggum
And it
going?
looks like him trying to find a safe place to test something.
Alright. The park's mostly empty at this time of night.
All right. And that's where he will go.
Okay.
And he is going to test out the Secondsight agency coin.
Okay, what are you doing with it?
Well, I'm going to flip it.
Alright. Let's see now. Roll, I need you to, when you flip the coin, expend one of your hit dice and roll it for me.
All right. What do you need me to roll, though?
Whatever, one of your hit dice.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Hang on. I need to figure out how to expend a hit dice on here.
You'll have to go through the short rest menu.
All right. Just a curiosity. I didn't lose one permanently? It was just max HP that I lost permanently?
Your
Or as
max
long as I
HP
have-
is down. It's not permanent, but as long as you maintain the
Yeah, as long as I
attunement.
attunement to the coin. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's like, but I still have my full 10 hit dice, right? It's like,
Yes.
all right. It's like,
It's just one of them is permanently burned until, like, you break your attunement.
oh, so I am down by... I am only at 9, not 10. It's like,
You only have 9 available. You have 10 total.
okay. So it is a hit dice plus the maximum dropped down. Oh, right.
Yes.
Gotcha. So I will mark that there. It's like, do I add my constitution? It's like,
Nope, just roll the number.
or just the D8? All right. 6.
6? Okay. For the next 3 hours, you have true sight. You can see into the border ethereal, you can see through illusions, and you can see the invisible. You're also aware of secret doors and traps.
Fascinating. So am I to assume from this alone like, that I get random effects from this particular coin?
You were informed
this-
by Ingrid that the fire coin produced a fire effect. Or the coin with the stylized fire on it
Right.
produced a fire effect. But you were also informed that they have multiple abilities.
Oh, like, now that I think about it, second sight. I get it now. It's like, even if it has multiple effects, it's probably going to be centered around, sight-based abilities. It's like, well, I have. What was it? True sight now?
You have true sight. You can see into the border
Anything
ethereal.
Anything immediately interesting now that I'm in the park?
You can see into the border ethereal, which means you see the creatures that naturally exist in that offshoot plane. They're these weird little kind of fish bird hybrid creatures that don't so much fly or swim as they just sort of glide through the gray fog of the astral. There's a few of them that are a little bit larger that look something like anglerfish, but with like multiple light sprouts from their head instead of a single one.
All right.
You don't see any humanoids or anything like that, or any people moving through the border ethereal, but you do know that people...
anything threatening.
No, nothing. There's plenty of strange stuff, but nothing that is an immediate threat or danger.
Yeah, like basically the equivalent of bizarre and fascinating jellyfish in a ethereal sea of sorts, where it's like it's weird and beautiful all at once, but it's not like it doesn't present itself as threatening.
It's mildly gross and it eats with the butt.
It more or less is just one of those things where it's like they're happy enough existing.
Yeah, they're not sentient level creatures, and they are not hostile. Generally, if something enters the border ethereal, they will flee the area.
All right, that's good to know. Also, I do have the black obsidian coin back, but I'm going to... Was it obsidian or onyx?
It is a black gemstone. You don't actually recognize it. It's not obsidian, and it's not onyx. You have experience with both of those coins and both of those materials, and this is neither of them.
All right, but I am going to get that squared away before.
Yeah. Ingrid left it with you when she finished with it.
Right. And I'm going to take this opportunity to try to square that away. I think I'm going to have to talk to Cathal about that.
Okay.
She's the one in charge of the vault, I think.
Yeah. She is in charge of the vault. She is currently on top of the Secondsight agency, periodically firing firebolts into the air. You're not sure why.
I think tonight is not the night to climb up the side of the building to greet her.
I mean, you can go up the stairway inside.
Yeah, that probably would be the wisest move. And
Yeah.
as a monk, I am filled with wisdom.
Yeah.
And not
Not to be like,
pranks.
surprise!
Yeah, the last thing I want to do is hop up in front of her scope and be like, hey.
He
Alright.
comes inside, Ingrid's just like, hi, Griggum, and she's writing a letter.
When you
It's like-
see Ingrid, there is a shadowy form standing over her shoulder, standing behind her, one hand on her shoulder.
Oh, hey, Ingrid. Move on. It's like, I'm gonna does that image look more like reassuring, protective, or is it like I've got you, kind of like
It
death-
looks almost maternal.
All right, so nothing to worry about. And we just move on.
Alright. You're going up to this rooftop to talk to Cathal then?
Great, the thing!
As you go up to the rooftop, you see Cathal. The area in the Border Ethereal is completely clear. One thing you notice is that there is a invisible raven perching on her shoulder.
Oh, it's a thong. It's like,
She looks towards you, and while you can still see her face, through the true sight, you also see what looks like a sort of tribal, almost animalistic mask superimposed over her face as she looks to you. So, Griggum, how can I help you?
busy night. As I
Just-
walk over to her.
Training.
Well, let us know if there's anything we can do to help. We're here for each other, after all. Maybe technically our handler, but Major Domo. That's right.
Mm-hmm. What can I do for you, Griggum?
And he puts a hand into his pocket and produces sets the coin down in front of her and is like, we're gonna have to take care of that. And
She stops for a moment, looks at it. Huh.
a gift from devotion.
Oh, fuck that asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want done with it?
Well, you know the mission statement, right? When it comes to the
I know
coin.
mine. Oh, yes.
I'd say for now, it's late, so we probably should at least put it in storage, maybe the vault.
Yeah, we can put it in the vault. Just warn Ingrid about it so she doesn't accidentally grab it, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, well, come on. She kind of holsters the Promise of Justice and heads towards the stairway, leading you down towards the vault. She takes you
And
down to the.
before we begin that journey down, as she stands up and turns. Griggum is just going to casually. So, who's your raven friend?
Omanovan.
Helps with your sharpshooting?
Helps with a lot of things.
More animals.
That's good to see.
She pauses for a moment and then she resumes on down the stairs. She actually leads you down towards the barracks to the wall at the end of the hallway, and traces a glyph on the wall with her fingertips. The stonework kind of separates from each other and opens into a passageway that leads down into a closeted vault where you have a single central room and there are a number of ancillary side closets along the outer edge of the room. It's like, so for the most part, anything Ingrid puts into the pouch or that she needs immediate access to stays on the table. And she points to the table, and there is like a array of coins, potions, books, papers, and other miscellaneous that Ingrid could read you her inventory sheet from. And then she points to the side rooms. The more secure rooms are kept under lock and key and not immediately accessible via the pouch. She goes over to one of the doors, pulls the key out and unlocks it. Opens the door. Inside is like maybe 6 3x3. 2 by. It is a 3 squares. It is a 15-foot by maybe 15-foot room. Sorry, I'm relating a map that I drew to actual real-world numbers. With a number of maybe 1 foot by half a foot boxes set into the wall. She goes over to one of them, pulls it out, lifts the lid on. It's like, leave it in here, I guess.
Probably a good idea. Like Ingrid is already like working on identifying it. Like they took up a spell that allows them to, I guess, make a spiritual imprint or something of it. And like, I don't know about magic. And like,
huh? Interesting.
It lets her like examine it without having to interact with it.
A good precaution. I know a couple different people that were working on something similar a while back. A long while back.
So, but for now, until we know what this coin is capable of, we're going to have to secure it. It's like,
oh.
And if it's, I guess if it's usable, maybe we can add it to like tools we can use. I don't know. Like,
I mean, definitely possible, but yeah. Just give me a heads up in advance if you're going to need it so I can move it to where it can be grabbed easily.
Understood.
And she holds the box open for you. She does not want to touch that coin.
Yeah, no, he is already putting it in there.
Once it's in there, she closes the box, pushes it back in, and then closes the door to the little closet behind her. So, okay, let's close this up.
One more thing before we, before we leave here, since this looks around a secure room, I suppose.
Of much as anything.
Did you know that we were given a coin by the guild pact?
The guild pact didn't give you that coin.
Was that out of character? You telling me that?
No, that was her.
Okay.
She goes to the door of the vault. It's like, the leader of the agency's always carried that coin.
I see. So we're not the first?
We weren't the first.
But we were necessary. And by we, I mean the agency.
You were, and we were.
So this has been an on-off thing you've all been doing?
Y'all are doing better than the last team.
Glad to hear it. Let's see if we can keep that up. The last thing I want is for you to have to put up a board that says, so how many days before we have to start this over again?
Griggum. Let's lock
But
this up.
I'm sure there's a story I'm going to have to hear at some point in the future.
Maybe. And with that, she'll lock up the vault, and we're going to take a short break so I can stretch my legs, refill my water bottle, and write the next half of the game.
Yes, and maybe
Right there.
yeah, and maybe sort out your communication problems because you were breaking up a few.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm starting to see latency on the rise again. It's not nearly as bad as it was last week.
Well, if it goes too bad, at least we're at the end of we're bedding down to rest, so it's not a bad stopping point if it gets bad before we try to resume.
Yep.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's still mostly intelligible.
Alright, so, hi, everyone in chat. Thank you for sticking with us during this game. We appreciate you watching. We are going to go on a short break. We'll be back as soon as possible. During the break, a couple commercials are going to run on the stream page just to help with our funding a bit. You don't have to watch them, but if you do watch them, thanks. We'll be back as soon as we can.
Bye.
They can hear me. And where is that video? There it is. Now they can see us. Hi, we're back. Am I muted?
Hello,
No,
lovely
I'm not
people.
muted. Okay, thank God. I was worried there for a second. Hello, welcome to the second half of the Secondsight Agency campaign. We're playing D&D set in Ravnica. With me are my friends. Let's play D&D. Y'all waking in the morning. Y'all had grown used to, for the most part, y'all had grown used to having a breakfast prepared for you. This is not really the case this time. Amnestria made rather elaborate breakfasts for you. Cathal made y'all simple breakfasts. So instead of, like, egg bread with honey and lemon sauce, or travel bread, you get woken up by, Cathal's cooking, which is much more simpler oatmeals, basic bread, a couple slices of cheese, and a hunk of meat or some sausage.
Very much a quick and dirty Boros meal.
Yeah.
Ingrid's sitting at the table with the stack of little drawings beside her and one letter to send. Y'all get breakfast. He's like, so, are we scrying this morning?
I think I'm up for it.
Question: can scrying be assisted?
Nope.
Okay.
And, are you asking Ingrid that or the GM that? I'm just curious.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it works, but
I just wondered if you were angling for an in-game thing with Arassa.
yeah. Yeah, I guess technically I would ask that in character because my character would not know much about methods of that.
I don't think so. I think, Griggum assisting in that one scrying was more unusual just because of their connection. It's not typically how it's done.
Okay.
I see.
So I'd have to ask Arassa about that.
She can scry?
Yeah.
It's rather high level, isn't it? Like, I thought she was just learning divination unofficially?
I mean, she was scrying on me, so interpret that to mean that she's. Oh yeah. Also, yeah. So I talk with Amnestria. She's actually Arassa. Is her real name. She's also my wife. So that. and we've just kind of decided to let bygones be bygones. If Riz, if you're okay with that. I mean, she did heal you.
Heck no.
Broken ankle under the bridge.
I mean, I never got hurt. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's just, look, she was under a lot of emotional stress. You know, it's a thing. I just think we can just move on from it, just communicate better in the future.
I mean,
How are you guys?
it's kind of romantic. Leia would never let me scry on Rathin, though. That's off the books for me.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we are legally married. So maybe, I don't know.
well,
I mean,
we'll table this.
Yeah.
considering your circumstances, does that not also mean you're legally dead?
He's not dead. I'm pretty sure I would know that.
No. I mean legally, not undead, just legally dead. Like written down on documents, he is missing, presumed dead. Like,
That happens a lot.
Oh, no.
right.
No, you've still got that question. You could find out a lot of, like, maybe there's even more stuff you could find out.
Press is there with us, right?
No, she has not left her room.
Okay. Well, she had a
Long night.
obviously a long day like yesterday, so yeah. Anyways, don't assume she broke out or something. Think it's all good.
While they're eating, Ingrid will try another scry on the Lawmaster.
Okay. Let's.
I think you said it counted as having met with the last scrying, and she's got the picture.
Let me pull up the thing. Because let's see, SCRYING. Can't memorize the details of every spell. No, I don't want serving. Okay, so it's going to take 10 minutes to cast it. So while everyone else is eating, Ingrid is performing a kind of complex ritual. So let's see here now. You have... I would not say you are familiar with the target, but you do have first-hand knowledge about the target. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. You have a likeness or a picture, but you do not have a possession or garment, a body part, lock of hair, bit of nail, or similar body parts, correct?
And she has advantage, and the check is 7. It would be 17 with her having -2.
Okay, let me pull up her stats. She has a -7. Oh wait, no, yeah, just a -2.
Yeah, it's a wisdom save.
I am barely awake.
My mouse just stopped working. Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
That was weird.
Let's see here. Wow. That is a 1 and a 6.
I mean, she's practically just wanting to be caught at this point, right?
Your vision goes kind of fish-eyed blurred for a moment. You feel the spell connect, but as your vision starts to drift, you feel something interfering a bit, and For the duration of the spell, you see only darkness, like something is obscuring or blocking the spell from actually seeing.
She's warded herself against it somehow this time.
So
At least you tried.
in about 10 minutes, the spell cuts out. Or you can break your concentration.
I leave it up in case, like, there's a duration thing, or if she's just in an area and she moves, and in between watch she'll send me pictures of, like, what's actually going on at the table.
Okay. You mostly get,
And
like, snapshots of people eating. Feredir has, like, oversized proportions and, like, a weird elongated nose. Think character artist.
Oh, it's feeling a bit better today. I feel a bit better today.
I'm not at 100%, but I'll get there. Definitely better than yesterday.
You know, Frizz would probably like to help finish cleaning out the lab and us look for a cellar to cash in.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty good idea.
And of course, you have that underwater lab too to deal with. So I think either of those would be good options. And then, you know, tomorrow we get Reeve back, so we could take him with us when we go on our longer trip.
Right. Braille. Could I ask for a favor?
It depends on what the favor is. What you need.
Please don't charge me.
Please, please, I don't charge friends.
Okay, so I was talking with Arassa, Nestra, my wife. She said that this happened for the repayment of a debt under the last name Enrona. I was just wondering if there was any way you could look into that and make sure everything's squared away.
I mean, at the very least, I'd be able to look into what debts my mother holds, I would think. GM, correct me if I'm wrong.
You could possibly get some information. Depends on what information was left after the transfer of power. As a interjection, Ingrid, can I have you make me a history check, please?
Ten.
10? Okay, so, you know how Omaroma is a combination of the Elvish word Oma for from, and Roma, the name of the town. In Rona, translates in Elvish to fleeing Rona.
Can you say that again? It broke up a bit.
In Rona, in Elvish, translates to fleeing Rona. Fleeing, as in to run from.
And Rona would be typically a name of, like, a person in this
It
case?
sounds like a proper name of some sort, yes.
How's your Elvish, Feredir?
Quite good.
I mean, you have the ears for it. So, I think maybe you've been too close to this problem to look at this little part of it objectively. You said your last name is in Rona? Or it was? Or
Is
okay.
legally.
By the way, retro
fact.
congratulations, I suppose? Apologies for not getting you a gift, but I don't think I knew you at that point.
Do you need to be remarried?
I can
We'll
preside
cross
if
that
you
bridge
need.
when we come to it. Basically, right now, I just want to make sure everything's squared away and there's nothing pending.
Right. You don't
So-
want to find a snake in the weeds waiting to bite you. I understand.
Exactly. If there's something ongoing, I want to have it taken care of.
So you know how Omaroma means, of Roma, right?
Yes.
Like a person that lives there. So the inn is fleeing. And Rona is a typical, formal last name.
Also,
So
mouse is entirely dying, so I'm going to switch the batteries. Apologies for me moving around.
you a fugitive, Feredir?
I don't know. I'm trying to find out.
I think you should go to the postal hub today after we decide which lab we're going to go to and take care of that.
I have a friend. I could access criminal records.
You do, I believe.
Well, I mean, were you a criminal? Ooh.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know if I should ask her if you're a criminal. I should ask her, if your name has any criminal records. But and she knows. So, but we could go back to the archive office later. We have a writ for doing research. And when we get near the end of our case, we could go back to the archives and we need the documents on. Oh,
Let's do that because I feel like if I want to know what all is attached to this name before I start using it, I feel like that's a wise, pragmatic decision.
so we take care of one of the labs and then we go to Precinct 2?
I guess so. Aren't we just going to shock the hell out of that lab?
Oh,
We need to at least verify what's going on down there.
And then shut the hell.
Hey?
Shock the hell out of it and then go check.
and then of course if there's any remaining equipment we haven't claimed or anything that Frizz could put to use, I feel like that would be fair for him having been part of this before. Maybe there's something he can salvage.
I think we've already raided it and it's been flooded.
Nothing to do with all the pods and all the IO equipment for keeping creatures alive and stuff. I know that's more Elle's background. We do have a lot of lab space here. I feel like he needed to store a little equipment, maybe work together with Rail occasionally. He's got to come by to, work together on the key thing anyway, right?
Yeah, I do need to find out what all this is.
I'm just not sure how we're going to frogman our way into the lab and
Won't we just
simple equipment and bring it up to the surface while underwater.
okay?
That seems like we'd need to hire or at least enlist the services of people who specialize in that sort of thing.
Just get someone who's strong? I mean, Rakdos move equipment.
I am not giving this to the Rakdos!
After we kill the creatures.
Still doesn't seem the most.
I think you know of all people that death means nothing.
After we... Oh no, this will kill them. Be very dead.
I mean, I can move
Some
things.
people, I'd still rather not die anytime soon.
Well, we need to at least check out what's down there. And if they're still all safely in their tubes, then we do the terraforming spell. And we wait till it wears out all their tissues. And then go back in and we get any equipment. I mean, the scouting goes well. And I mean, Rail, you've got that elemental that can help keep anything from getting out the top if we need to.
I will
So
point.
I think maybe
Go ahead.
Say that again, GM?
Oh, I said go ahead. Because I
I
accidentally
think maybe stationing you near the top where you could have that elemental. How long can you have it?
I believe it's for 10 minutes. Let me double check.
While Meryl is checking that,
For up to 1 hour.
I would like to point out that earth elementals do not do great in water.
That's
That
why
is
I said at the top.
I know. I'm just making sure it's clear.
I have a question about spells and stuff.
Okay, I probably have an answer.
So, conjure minor elementals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, hypothetically, could they just be weird?
Let me check the spell.
But, like, not, like, I mean, flavor-wise. You know?
Conjure.
Because, like, I don't think they're Acer and, Arachnophobes.
Well, I just need to check what the CR rating on the spell is.
1 elemental of chakra 2 or lower, 2 of 1 or lower, 4 of
Okay.
1/2 or lower, 8 of 1/4 or lower.
It goes up to
Galvanize are 1. And blister coils are 4, so it doesn't matter. But
Yeah, I would say
Galvanize weird are 1.
I would say as it is that you would be able to.
I was
Alright,
thinking at least Frizz might want to go down and scout because he hasn't seen all the biotic and wants some. I mean, it could be everyone goes. That's cool. We can get water breathing and we can all just go swimming. Just figure, at least Frizz might want to see if the equipment's worth it.
I do have ways to easily transport the equipment up here. We'll recover them and then bring them back.
Oh, that sounds fun. Like this bag? And she pats the bag at her side.
Kind of.
This one doesn't
I
hold
have
enough. They're like fully creature-sized.
I have more. I can get some manpower.
Oh, water breathing is group. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more attainable than I initially thought. Because I haven't. My bad. I was like, I could do it, but what about you guys? Oh, right.
So, are we thinking the closed park? And then if we get that all wrapped up, then maybe we go to Precinct 2 for a little bit of research for Feredir and save maybe the money-making venture for tomorrow? The labs are important too.
I think that is not a bad idea.
How far away is the lab?
The street.
Walk.
It's just, it's very close.
Like, if you just look out that window, see that tree over there?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Across the street is a maybe block and a half sized park. It was once and is currently known as Pearl Plaza Park. It was initially a collaboration between the Selesnya and the Simic Guild to create a sort of underwater, above ground park where all the plant life was biosculpted to resemble sea life, coral shelves and stuff like that, as well as illusionary tiles that projected illusionary fish that kind of swam along with you when you walked along them. That park got completely wrecked by the Gruul when they invaded. So now it's just being rebuilt as a kind of regular park and is being handed over entirely to the Selesnya.
Wish we'd been able to take care of that when we were there before it flooded, but I mean, there was a lot going on. We didn't know if these things could get loose if they started taking damage or woke up from whatever state they're in. So,
We're doing the best we could to keep it.
handling it today is good.
There's nobody stationed in there.
I believe y'all have and their team currently keep an eye on things there.
Right.
upstairs because it's
But
flooded.
they're all right. Yeah. When it flooded.
no
I'm
one,
not going
no
to
one is,
question Tom's
no one's
abilities.
inside. Yeah, no one's inside right now.
And they didn't mention anything about being, say, attacked by horrible fish people or anything like that.
Nope. They
Just that
basically
it's
their
flooded.
response. What they reported to you was that water started filling up the lab, and they retreated.
And nobody could blame them.
Well, not justifiably.
And I think Feredir had some considerations about trying to secure the area for us, but that would mean a lot of construction and watertight doors and Selesnya permission, probably, because it's theirs, and it was just kept secret. And I don't know if that would probably want to think on that one.
Old problems. It's not worth it anymore.
Yeah. So, guess, while we're having breakfast and talking this over, does an hour pass? Should I reset a short rest?
Easily,
or no?
yes. Y'all are getting close to about 9 or 10 a.m. by my count.
Is Arassa up yet?
She has not left her the room, no.
You need to check on her?
Yeah,
Have you spoken with her today?
not today. I'm just gonna go to the dormitories, assuming the door is closed.
Yes.
I guess I just will ear to the door, make sure nothing concerning.
Nope, not really hearing anything. Make a perception check, though, just make sure.
That would be 9, but I do have 19.
19, okay. You don't really hear... You hear, a soft shuffling occasionally, but you don't hear anyone talking or anything like that.
I'm hearing breathing and stuff.
Either breathing or movement. You're hearing a very soft, hushed sound.
Knock knock.
Yes. Yes.
Everything okay?
Oh, everything's fine. Yes. How are
Hey.
you?
Good.
Okay.
You want some coffee or anything?
No, that's okay.
How does she sound?
Tired?
Okay. Otherwise normal.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. I guess I'll head back up.
Alrighty. Feredir rejoins the rest of y'all pretty quick.
And
He's
while
up.
he went to do that, I just went to let Cathal know we're going across the street to look into it.
Cathal would be back in her quarters when you knock on her door. She opens it and looks around. Yes. How can I help you, Ingrid?
Letting you know we're going across the street to the underwater sunken lab. Just keeping you posted.
Okay. Do y'all need anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. Get in touch if you do.
Okay.
Quick thing, we
I'll
may need
take
to
one of the birds
requisition.
with
Okay. What was that, Griggum?
I was gonna wait for everyone else to finish. It's like,
Okay.
I'll take one of the birds with me, so if you hear a bird peck at the door or something, might be that.
She nods.
but yeah, Griggum is going to say, while we're away, we may need to get some aquatic equipment requisitioned. He's like,
Unfortunately,
What?
we're a little low on that
Just
at
in
the moment.
case.
Keep going down there?
No, but I have a feeling that we may have to deal with water stuff more and more often in the future.
I mean, I think Feredir's even mentioned being able to give people water breathing, but do you mean like swimsuits? I bought a swimsuit.
Yeah, like some, like the
I meant
shoes.
something that would allow us to maintain combat effectiveness underwater.
Right.
Like breathing underwater is
yeah.
nice and all, but if you can't move underwater, then you're gonna have an issue.
I'm wearing leather.
Ingrid goes to change into her swimsuit plus her armor and
No,
comes back.
Ingrid, you're not understanding me. It's like I
think
didn't say water wear. I said water gear equipment. It's like
Ironically, the most functional underwater gear for combat purposes is Feredir's crossbow. Crossbows don't suffer any of the penalties that most weapons do underwater.
Sweet.
Good thing I have one as well.
Meet y'all upstairs. I'm just gonna change into my swimsuit.
why? It's like
I don't want to get my clothes all boggy. I bought a special swimsuit.
Is armor likely to be a problem underwater?
I mean,
If you
I
can
don't
breathe
think
it,
for
not
me.
super. If you have
it's
underwater
really heavy
breathing,
getting back up with
Oh my
armor. We
God,
can stick
people.
the bag.
people, I'm only saying, like, hey, we're dealing with an aquatic monster in the near future. We may need to have gear to battle it underwater. Like, what? Like, what in the world? It's like,
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yes, I understand you. I have no gear, so I don't need to worry about that.
I don't think I need any special gear, but if you think of anything you want, I'm supposed to help y'all find gear and equipment and inventory, so let me know.
well, just requisition anything that would be useful underwater that will allow us to fight. It's like,
Not
Like,
anything.
You are really the only one that needs to be up fighting. The rest of us can just stay back and just bam, 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 bam.
do you
Anyway, I started
understand the fusibility of water? It's like,
No, my stuff cuts pretty straight in water. I mean,
water is a pretty neutralizing force. I don't know what you
Laura
guys
said
are
it would be
talking about.
fine, and I mean, she's Valora.
I think I'll be fine.
Like, oh my god. It's like,
He was all like, "Oh, you miss water, dear, and here's this. It'll help you, and you'll swim so much better than before." And I was like, "My spells and stuff," and she's like, "It's fine."
can you just do it? It's like,
Tell me what you need. I'll ask
What
around.
can we
Someone's
get?
gotta
Like seriously, like if we have to deal with this thing 10,000, like 1,000 feet into
Do
the
you want a
into
crossbow like Feredir?
okay,
Can get you
so
a crossbow?
I feel I am going to interject to make things a little simpler. Allow me to read the underwater combat section. When making a melee weapon attack, a creature that doesn't have a swimming speed, either natural or granted by magic, has disadvantage on the attack roll unless the weapon is a dagger, javelin, short sword, spear, or trident. A ranged weapon automatically misses a target beyond the weapon's normal range. Even against a target within normal range, the roll has the attack roll has disadvantage.
You cut out.
Test. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
Hey.
cut out around the point of talking about tridents and, well, I mean, the amount of the equipment that don't suffer penalties.
Okay, melee weapons that don't suffer underwater penalties, which is a disadvantage, are
We did
daggers,
that.
javelins, short
We did
okay,
that.
spears, and tridents. Ranged weapons automatically miss a target beyond the weapon's normal range. Even against a target within normal range, the attack roll has disadvantage unless the weapon is a crossbow, a net, or a weapon that is thrown like a javelin, including a spear, trident, or dart. That's it.
Right, and then it's like,
Wait, that's for strictly ranged weapons?
That is literally the only stuff there is on underwater combat.
Magic's not affected by it.
Yeah, magic's
No,
not
it's fine.
affected by it. As long as it is like a crossbow, net weapon, or a dagger, javelin, short sword, spear, or trident, you're fine. You do have half your movement speed due to swimming, and swimming in armor requires a strength check.
All right. It's like, so we need equipment that allows us to swim. It's like,
I mean, there's magic things that gives you swimming abilities. They're not.
right. Can we requisition that? And it's like,
They're like
this is
things
what I'm-
and cape things. I mean, probably.
Yes or no? And it's like,
We probably have enough money left to get a couple of them. If we make a good score on selling the crystal things, then we can. We really don't have enough to get enough for everyone right now. We're a little. They're not cheap.
I said look into, not get it. It's like,
Right, not right this very moment.
You seem grumpy
I-
today.
because you people are driving me crazy with unnecessary information. I ask a simple yes or no question. Look, or just a simple look into this. Like, give me some numbers. Like, see what we have to do to get this. And you have to go into this whole tirade of like, why? And it's like, we don't need it. We don't have to need this thing. It's like, there's nothing coming up that we have to worry about this thing for.
Let's consult Cathal later and see. She
We're
has a
in
lot
front
of
of
buying
Cathal
connection.
now.
Cathal waves.
So, Cathal, it looks like Griggum's looking for things that help you be better swimmers. What do you think that would run us to get?
And Griggum's looking at Cathal and it's like,
I'll have to
what do you wanna
talk
deal with?
to a
What do you
few
have to deal with?
people. Do you want something that's like one use or reliable?
Let's assume extended combat,
Okay. I'll
like
make
maybe a battlefield.
I'll contact a few people and see what I can find.
All right, because hey, I'm gonna have to think the worst case scenario right here. Like, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's like,
Doesn't hurt to be prepared. Even if
yeah.
it might be considered as being over-prepared.
I can't believe it took this long for you people to catch up to this thought. It's like, my God, and it's like,
Listen, here, I have an idea. What if I make you fly underwater? Then you wouldn't have to worry about moving because you just be flying.
Is that how
doesn't
that
help.
works?
That does not help. Not one bit. It does not help.
How? You would be swimming, but instead of swimming, you would just be like moving around. Having
That
to
sounds
fit in
really
there.
cool.
But
I'm
that's
good.
not how water works.
Magic.
It does pay to re-examine.
Technically, it is. It's just the fluid is water instead of air.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, I am not sure that's how that would work.
I mean,
No, that's not how it works
out of
at
character,
all.
the spell fly does not require you to be in air. To do
Yeah,
it.
no. It's basically you would have self-propulsion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
this
just,
is
like-
this is under the assumption that the fly spell is built for air control. It's like with minimal resistance. It's like,
Oh, there's
You-
still
you-
like you would still have the movement drain. You would
Right,
still be
which
moving
then-
at half speed.
and
Because-
in
Then
turn,
you still be
I still
equal to your normal speed.
yeah, but
Yeah.
in turn, I still have the attack penalties. It's like,
Well,
because if I don't have a swim speed, I get disadvantage. And it's like,
No, you
would you like a
fly
dagger?
speed,
your unarmed weapon is
No.
not a melee weapon.
it is. It's a simple weapon. I looked that up. I was like,
It's treated as one for the purposes
Right.
of certain things, but it's not one.
Armed is good, but your staff is at disadvantage.
Yeah, you'll be able to punch normally and kick.
it's listed as a simple weapon. It's like,
It's the same reason why it doesn't work with smite.
what doesn't work with smite?
Okay, you can't.
Punching.
Yeah.
You can't punch and smite.
because the punch is not technically a melee weapon, it's just treated as a melee weapon by the martial arts ability, which means that since it doesn't have the weapon tagging, it is not affected by the underwater rules.
But why is it listed as a weapon in the chart?
It's listed as an attack on the chart.
He's saying your staff is still disadvantaged, but your unarmed is
I
not.
get that. I get that. It's like, I'm just confused about the unarmed strike not being a...
Okay, when they were writing the handbook, the player's guide, basically their intention was anytime they use weapon, they are referring to an item listed on the equipment weapons chart. And since your unarmed is not on the equipment weapons chart, it is not technically a melee weapon. It is a melee attack.
Yeah. Okay, think about it this way.
When
Okay,
in doubt,
Bracelet
proceed.
or weapon?
No. Let's
Because you can
stop
wear
it. Let's drop
bracelet.
it. Let's drop it. Let us drop it. It's like,
Okay.
the point of the matter is, it's like, you're giving me a freebie and I'll take it. It's like,
Yeah, you can punch normally. Kick too.
And not
Yeah,
many of
because
us are actually
busy,
that
like-
bad underwater.
I'm busy
Yeah, it's
thinking
really
about the physics of water here and how a lot of stuff, even magic, should be hampered by it. And you're just telling, you're trying to tell me, don't think. It's like,
I
just
mean,
do. It's like,
Just remember, you're a monk. You are
because
water.
5e is like doesn't give a shit.
let me put it like
5e
this.
doesn't care.
Electrical
5e
damage
doesn't have rules.
has electrical damage is not affected by being underwater at all, and being underwater gives you resistance to fire damage.
Right. Like, the thing is, like, I have to remind myself. It's like 5e doesn't have rules for this. And it's like, so I'm good.
There are some silly, like, this does not equate 1-to-1 with real world.
So
Every
head to heart.
game system is an abstraction. Because if
I
you
know,
weren't,
but
then
this is an absurd abstraction.
There's
Ingrid
a
gets her
level of,
swimsuit on and meet y'all back.
She's wearing
Yeah,
a breastplate with the swimsuit. It's
And
strangely
my cloak.
adorable.
To have a
Like,
couple of my
all in
birds
all-
with me. So I need
So
to
yeah,
send them.
all in all, what you're telling me is we just need gear that gives us swim speed. That's it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, that would
That's
be
just-
great. Then we could go swimming like on the underwater rivers to find coral and everything. It'd be way
This
more
is not
fun
a
if y'all could
vacation.
swim good too.
This is not a vacation or a beach episode. It's like,
Do y'all want a vacation or a beach episode?
no,
maybe
I mean-
after this.
It's good
we've
practice.
wasted a lot of time. We have had so many filler episodes. We need to get progress.
Okay, so let's go.
Well, this is not the
Go.
Naruto.
Alright, so y'all are going to Pearl Plaza Park then?
Yes.
Alright. As you crest the hill to where you know the entrance to what was once Feredir and Rail's secret underground lab, you see a kid in, like, just, common street clothes at the top of the hill, sitting next to the open hole with the water, holding a fishing rod.
Catch anything?
Kid looks up at you. No.
That was a
This area is under maintenance. Just to let you know, it might be safer if you went for a couple hours. We've got to go check the water hatch. We brought an Izzet to help.
The kid's
rail.
form blurs, and as he stands up and nods, it's like, "All right, boss, thanks for the break."
Yeah, I was like, Rail has seen this before.
And she just gave a break, so he is heading off.
We've got the birds to watch.
Yeah,
Alright, just don't go
basically
too
Hitchcock's
far, right?
the birds anywhere Ingrid goes. As a flock of, I'm assuming you have your whole thing?
Got to.
Oh, okay, never mind. Not a full flock then. it's less the bird. It's more the opening scene of the birds, not the end of the birds, where there's just like a dozen birds hanging around looking threatening.
I only have 10.
Right. So there is a maybe 5 foot by 5 foot opening in the hole in the ground here that is just filled to the brim with water. You can faintly see what looks like a cable system or a stairway or a rope. You're not 100% sure due to the refraction of the light and the fact that it's pitch black down there.
Watcher, you're coming with me. Okay, who do we need water breathing on? We need it on all y'all and Kay. And we'll do it on Watcher just in case. And do we need it on the Raven?
Would think it would be a good idea.
Okay.
I mean, I
you
can.
got this, Feredir, or do you want me to? To save spells?
Do believe yours lasts 24 hours.
If I dismiss Hermes
Mm-hmm.
and then resummon it, like it'll still keep the enchantment, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, might as well put it on there. Put it on Hermes, and then I'll just put Hermes away so it doesn't get his feathers wet.
It's a normal cast of it.
I need her spell slots more than me, so I'll go ahead
It's
and
not
do
a
it.
spell slot.
It's a ritual, isn't it?
No. It's just, Valora just told me I could do it. Just once, though, like, until I rest, because you have to gather back energy from the earth.
Oh.
Yours lasts 24 hours, right?
Yeah? We could totally go swimming after this, you know. The end of the day, too. Ingrid just goes ahead and casts it.
Okay, everyone, for the next 24 hours, you have water breathing. Ingrid, I believe you have water breathing and a swim speed.
Yeah.
So you now move faster than all your friends underwater.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Actually, I need to do a little research on that. Let's go ahead and call the game at this for the day while I do a bunch of research. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, I don't think I want water breathing because what am I going to do down there?
You should have it just in case you have to go down there.
I mean, it's free.
Fair enough.
Better to have it and not need it.
I just had a really, really good
And
idea.
gills look fetching.
What if I just start using shape water?
Get it
Start
out.
shaping water. Yeah.
It's a
Where would you
600
put it?
foot tunnel.
I mean, I could also just, like, freeze the water and, like, have it a tunnel almost.
It's a 600 foot tunnel that's either 5 by 5 or 10 by 10 already.
Okay.
Straight down.
True. Depends on how long we need to, like, do this. I could just, funnel off the water.
We have water breathing for 24 hours. I think we're more or less
Take that
good to
plan
go.
B.
Plan B. Just in case.
Take 600 feet of it, and then you have to move it up every bit. The lower water. That could take a really long time.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys able to cast spells underwater?
If
So
you
I
can
actually had to
breathe.
look that up.
Yeah.
We should be able to as long as we can breathe, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Even if
Water
I could
breathing
fit
lets
talking,
you,
just meta magic.
If you can't breathe, you would have to expend whatever breath you're holding to
Right.
cast a spell. But if you can't breathe water, you're fine.
Man, like, fuck not being able to articulate in underwater. It's like,
it's
Kind of have
magic.
the feeling that they made the rules like this so that people wouldn't spend 15 minutes arguing about what the rules are.
That is
There's
fair.
more complex
and yet
rules
here we
for if
are.
you're really deep or anything. So you can look into the grittier rules for like deep sea adventures if you're looking
Yeah,
for something.
there's
There-
probably
there are other
addendums.
rules. They're
Yeah,
for
like-
like deep sea.
I'm just like, the more I hear this, the more I'm thinking, fuck, spellcasters are overpowered in 5th edition. Like,
Little,
there's
yeah.
almost nothing that stops them anymore.
Concentration, but yeah.
But even
I think
then,
Ingrid's probably leading the way with Griggum coming pretty close second, just because he has more
Right.
movement.
Okay.
I'm here with a monk, and I feel like a chump.
Oh,
I
I mean, I literally have a boon from my patron to make me better underwater.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
what
That
I have
is
instead of
fair. That
getting
is fine. I was asking about spellcasters in general.
I
You're
mean-
fine. Don't get me wrong. I figured you had something. Otherwise, why would you not be worried? It's like,
Where is that?
In the confidence
yeah.
and inducing armor?
Yeah. Out of curiosity, do you have any light source with you?
I have.
I can
goggles of dark
cast light.
vision.
dark vision, bitch.
Yes, but you're
So
saying above
I
ground.
do have a question.
I probably have an
Yeah,
answer
I'm-
because I have to.
Can I use produce flame underwater
To damage things,
as a light source?
it will be snuffed out almost instantly. But yes,
Aw.
you're just going to have to
Oh, well.
recast it constantly.
Oh well. The limitations of physics.
Yeah, I can just light up like a
Which do not exist in 5th edition.
Well, they do in some cases.
Yeah.
Not in
Yeah.
others.
Yeah, but never the things I want to try to talk about.
So,
Aw.
It keeps
Uh,
keeping me.
2 questions: who is descending, and what light source do you have?
I think I'm going to stay above ground.
Okay.
I'm going to go first because I have the goggles of dark vision. Because why the heck not?
Okay.
And I
And I'm
guess
going to-
Rill and I are both leading because I was already hearing that. So it'll be us and then the other two.
Right, and I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay. So, y'all have been here before. As y'all descend down the 600-foot deep shaft to the underground lab, you notice a few things immediately. One, the hatch is open, which means that the water is coming from deeper into the lab. As you progress
Yeah.
through the lab into the T-junction, you see that all the doors seem to be open with water filling them. In the dark, barely lit area, though Farrell's light does provide some illumination, it is very hard to see. The water is murky, as seems to be sediment and other debris floating in it. Going around the corner, you see that the hallway where there was the drain that previously the 2 Kraken priests had escaped down using Return to the Water. The grates have been blown open by what looks like a concussive force. The metal bowed outward like something slammed into it a few times and then through it. The tile work around where the grates had been set in, damaged and broken. Past that, around the final corner to the inner airlock to the largest lab is also open. Entering into the largest lab where you saw the drains and the several pods set up. The pods are still there, but the glass has been shattered on each one, and they are all empty. Sorry, I'm hearing like my own voice, and it's super distracting me. At either end of the little row of pods, the little orb that y'all saw that was directing energy into them is powered down, floating there uselessly. Huge cracks in each of them.
Well, I guess we could try to recover the orbs, but those creatures being gone's not good. Wish we'd been able to take care of them at the time.
I think we should follow.
Griggum isn't there, but like I told you so.
Well,
Oh well,
spy
I
his
think
murmur.
dismantle it and call it a day.
Chris, you want to recover these orbs, see if there's anything you can do with them? They were part of a life support system.
Make
Sure.
a perception check for me. Anyone that's interacting with the tubes or the orbs.
I guess I am.
I'm keeping an eye on the grates, like where the grates were that got blown
They
open.
were
Okay.
opened from the inside. No, I'm
I
kidding.
got a 17 and Watcher got a non-natural 20.
Okay. So
Guess
Watcher,
it's sick.
give me that one more time. I heard a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 26 and I just missed the 20 part.
No.
Nope, just Watcher draws Ingrid. Watcher draws your attention to a small detail on one of the pods. It looks like there is a bit of scaled skin attached to the outer edge of it, not where there was like sharp glass or anything, and not where a hand would reach out if it was reaching into the pod. More like where someone would grab the pod with one hand to steady themselves while swinging a large or a heavy object at them.
Does it seem like the skin of the creatures we fought down here before or something else?
You didn't get a great look at those, so make me a history check.
Okay.
Because they were throwing up a lot of magical darkness.
Only an 8, so I'm going to call everyone over and show them the spot because...
Hey, has Mage Hand?
I do.
Could you please collect the sample, por favor?
If somebody else wants to keep an eye on the grates, then sure.
I will keep an eye on the grate with the only effective weapon we have in the party.
Okay.
Other than magic, I guess, but...
His
I was
dagger
gonna say-
works.
You're also not the only one with a
And-
crossbow.
Oh, you have a crossbow? Okay.
Yeah, I rarely use it,
I have a
but I have
dagger.
it.
He's like, I have this crossbow, or I could summon this divine weapon inspired by an unknown eldritch mystery. I'm going to use the crossbow. I don't know why I'm
And
making
it
good
is
to
this.
have
not
it as a
impeded by
backup.
water one bit.
Okay, you use Mage Hand to collect the sample of skin. Anyone who wants to examine the skin that was present for the fight with the Kraken Priest, make a history check for me.
Extra check with disadvantage.
Jill and Feredir.
Wait,
This
was
is gonna
that
be a
at
fun roll.
disadvantage?
Only if
For
you
him,
have a
yeah.
level of
I'm at
exhaustion.
disadvantage.
Okay.
I'm still exhausted.
18.
18? Okay.
I didn't see them good in the room. I did see them again when we scried.
6.
6. Do you want to use your necklace to reroll?
No.
Damn.
It's a little early in the day to be taking damage.
It is a little unclear because it's a very small scrap, and it's not a whole, like, hand or anything like that. The skin tone and the patterning on it looks similar. It may not be exactly the same, but it is at least tangentially related in some way to the creatures you confronted before, you think.
Could you please put that in, like, some sort of...
I mean, just put it in your pocket for now. I don't want to open the bag down here underwater. I want to.
Anybody happen to have a containment vessel on them?
I think
Yes.
I have. Let me double check my inventory.
I might.
I'm assuming most people didn't bring their whole backpacks underwater.
I was about to
That
say,
might-
did you bring your
Yeah, I
backpack?
guess that's fair.
That's a good
I got
question.
the bag
I
of
would
holding,
not
but
have.
I didn't want to open it unless I had to.
I have things that would be damaged by water, so I would not have brought mine.
You haven't reached in your bag in a little while, have you?
Hey, can't somebody make, like, vacuums in water with the shape water ability. I mean, they may not be able to like excavate an entire tunnel, but maybe create a small vacuum so that somebody could open it back.
Oh, I mean, he could
Yeah.
totally, like,
Think-
Steven Universe a bubble of ice around it.
Yeah, I could do
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, unless you create a shell of ice, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I can do exactly that. Let's see. I need to make an Arcana check to do that. I need to make a 10. My modifier is +10. Oh well. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm gonna use shape water bubble of ice.
Okay. Around the sample or around her bag?
Around her sample.
Okay. So, there is a moment as the water starts to crystallize before just you have maybe a softball-sized chunk of ice with the sample encased in it.
And I think Rail has that because he did the mage hand. Or Feredir.
Whoever
that
has it
works.
has it. Y'all notice now that y'all are standing in one area for a prolonged period of time, there's a current moving through the water. It's not very strong.
Current, you mean like water flow, not electric.
Yes, the water is not moving.
Okay.
The water is not moving very fast, but it's not still either. It seems to be coming up from one grate and going down another.
Part of one of the rivers, probably that's on that map. I would have the watertight case, but that's not really something to get into right now. Plus, we don't have Griggum down here. Do you want to disconnect those orbs to put in the lab? Rail, Feredir, Frizz, y'all are the scientists. Do you want them?
They might at least be useful.
Yeah, why not?
These orbs are about maybe 1.5 feet in diameter and have like 3 to 4 large gashes in them. Like someone took an axe and just smacked it hard a few times.
That's a waste of good equipment, that is.
Well, what is it made of?
It looks to be, now that you can see the inside of it, it has a mysium core with a mithril lining on the inside and then a brass exterior.
Shit, you have me in museum. Let's take them. Yeah, let's go ahead and get these. Just this shouldn't be too hard. Let's disconnect them then.
All right.
Are you looking
Carefully.
to delicately disconnect them or just rip them off of the machinery?
Delicately.
Delicately, sure.
Make me either a thieves' tools or a tinkering tools check.
I
Depending
have
on-
my cloak, so I have my thieves' tools because I said I wore my cloak and they're in the bird bone. So
I was thinking I would definitely have the skills to assist with this if that's possible.
yeah. Do you want I'll roll you assist? You want to do that? So
Sure.
we're doing a thieves' tools check.
Okay.
Don't have proficiency. I do have dex though.
I have proficiency.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he should assist you.
Yeah, that's
Whoever's
Gotcha.
making your roll, you're being helped, so please make your roll with advantage.
I'll help. And then
well. I thought Frizz, you make the roll. I'm not at my best to actually do it myself at the moment. You know,
true. And yeah, that's fair.
Rail is
See.
still nursing a hangover.
Rail helps a little, but he occasionally dozes off while helping.
It's like
Whoa, not 20.
he's as good as Mavana at that.
That is a 20.
Alright. Fortunately,
28
since
total.
Fortunately, since they have been damaged severely, they're no longer drawing power from the electrical system. And so there's no real danger in disconnecting them. You break the connecting wires with a couple quick snips. And then it's just a matter of decoupling it from the housing, which comes free with no problem at all.
Should we close off the water hatches when we do go? I mean, like, we might want to investigate, but like when we do go, should we close them off so that it doesn't stay flooded?
That would probably be a good idea.
How would
I
we
don't
go
know
about
that we
doing that?
can.
In order to drain it, what you would need to do is close off one of the area where the grate is open that water is flowing into the area, and leave the doorway open for the grate that the water is flowing out of the area.
The other thing is, if you do that, everything starts coming crashing down.
The grate has been busted open, so if you do that, everything that's floating in the water is likely to be dragged with the water.
Okay, that seems like a pretty simple fix.
Everyone,
Just
people,
repair
things,
the grate. I mean,
yeah. Stuff.
Or you could just put ice over it.
Yeah,
apply to the grate. Then.
I'm trying to say something.
Sorry.
Things floating in the water include people floating in the water.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's not that big a problem if there were only 2 people down here. I mean, I've still got that short-range teleportation. It was, my plan to get away if the creatures all broke out when I attacked them.
Yeah, I'll be fucking fly.
That's up to y'all what y'all do, if y'all want to do that or not. I just need to know, are y'all getting that other orb down?
Yes.
I think we should take the orbs out at the very least.
Alright,
Yeah, we
As
should
far
take
as
the
the
orbs out
water
first.
goes,
I need another
worry
roll
about
for
what
the
might be
second
going
orb.
down.
Alright, with advantage. And then my being
I'll assist again.
Alright.
But yeah, I'm thinking we are. If we just leave whatever's
26.
down there,
Yeah, no problem.
we're kind of opening ourselves up for problems later.
I mean, do you
We
mean
should-
like go explore it and see if you can
That
find
was-
where they got taken?
That was my thinking.
I think we should at least go get Griggum in that case.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Alright, so y'all are going to head on up back to where Griggum is then?
Maybe drop off the equipment, get Griggum,
Okay.
see if we can find to tell him to go back to guarding it since we won't be there.
Yeah, is long
Are
gone.
we outside the range? Are we outside the range of spies? Remember?
No.
I told
If
him
you
not
just
to
want
go
to get
too
called
far.
to come down.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you could
but
just cut me
I
down.
think that we probably should take the equipment up into the headquarters before start exploring.
But yeah, nonetheless, it is 3. I was like,
Yeah, I was
so,
about to say it's 3. We're pretty much done for the day. We can pick up here next week. If anyone wants to do a real quick recap, sign off, or catchphrase, go ahead.
All right, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and please make like a polite werewolf. Like and subscribe.
Ooh, I actually don't have a Cohen today. He's like, whew, the well runneth dry today.
Had to happen eventually.
So best drink soda, folks.
Remember, the Ferengis have a rule of acquisition for anything. There. Hey, if you're watching this on Twitch, thank y'all so much for joining us for our live broadcast. We really appreciate it. If you are able to, we really would appreciate it if you would also share us with a friend, or follow us on Twitch, or if it's not a burden for you, we would really appreciate any subscriptions, subs that you may make. Our Patreon is just about ready to go live. The last of the videos are from the pregame streams, and the character discovery streams are now up. And the past episodes of Chat and Chill will be going up in the next few days. Once everything is up and ready, I will tweet out the Patreon as well as include it in the information at the bottom of the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for being a member watching us on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share with a friend. We are currently pushing to get 100 people subscribed on YouTube, so we can get a custom YouTube URL. So it would no longer be a janky series of alphanumeric characters, but actually youtube.com/thebonusroll. So please help us reach this goal. Follow us on Twitter at bonusroll for information about what's coming up, what shows, or just whoever happens to have access to the account, how they're feeling day to day. Everyone, great game. We'll be back next week.
Right. Take care, all. Be
All right.
safe and be well.
Bye. Okay, I click this thing and it shows the end show, and I click this thing and then I click this thing, and okay, we're no longer visible.
Cool.
Alright, so no one said something
Yeah.
funny, so I'm going to turn off the audio too.